The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the DL show, and I'm DL. Krellbar, what's happening, sir?
Great record.
Great record. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Work today.
Now,
smoked with you yesterday.
I was going to say I saw you yesterday.
Yep.
That's exciting. I'm glad you brought that up at the show and then went into such detail about it. Christ.
Oh, well, we smoked yesterday.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Well, I had the CAO Cameroon that you recommended.
Yes, you did.
You had said it would kick my ass, and
I did.
It didn't until it got down to this last part of it. Then it knocked me on my ass.
So it did. That's
Yeah.
my whole point. Not that it didn't. It did. Hey, Johnny, what's happening? Let me just say hello to people in the chat. Chrissy, welcome to the show. Andrew Collins, how are you doing? Azrael, the Daywalker. And Bendeo, the Hulk is always canceled. You know that. You have to know. Yay now. Jan is in the house, everybody. Since Joe isn't here, Joe's been off. He's going to be off the next few weeks, and he'll be back. But in honor of Joe, let's just show this little clip of Joe.
Brand new Ernie Ball strings on there too. I was just out there in the. God love us all.
All right. God love Joe. Joe's been very busy. He is taking care of Mikey. The name of the theme music, Andrew Collins, is a song called Scamology by Aardvark. Very hard to find record. Great record. But that's what it's called. And yeah, if you're looking for the record or you want it, email me and I could send you the MP3. I don't even think it's even in print, to tell you the truth. But if you can't find it, just email me. You know, my email's on the YouTube channel, and I'll shoot it off to you. Brian, welcome. And oh yeah, that's great.
Where's Aardvark out of?
They were Massachusetts. I believe they were a jazz outfit out of Mass. It's actually called like Mark Harvey and the Aardvark Orchestra, something like that. But when I heard of the band, they just referred to them as Aardvark. So that's all I really know about them. In fact, just real quickly, I was talking to Esther Roll, and I said to her, I think the album's out of print, and this is how she responded.
Damn.
Yeah, clearly she was not happy about it.
Going to get that ent. Aardvark.
Ricky Compton, welcome. So, hey guys, let me just tell you something. I don't talk about this band much, and we really don't talk music on my. We don't talk music or guitars on my guitar channel. Oddly enough, because it gets old. I don't want to hear about the tone. The tone. But I'll tell you right now, Slipknot might be the greatest band ever. Have anyone ever seen them live at Download from 2009?
Nope.
That's a show. It's a must. It's the Download. What do they call it? If Download Festival. But Slipknot live at Download Festival is one of the sickest shows I've ever seen. That band was ridiculous. Ricky Compton says he saw them twice. Yeah, they're a great band. I love the songs. I think the band's just brilliant. And not a lot of people, I don't think, talk about them in that respect, but I think they're up there. They're great. You know? Krelba, am I interrupting you from sleeping? What are you doing over there?
No, my cat's on the side of me.
Okay. All right.
It was almost like that scene in Marvel's The Avenger was where Thor's in the corner with the sunglasses on. Is he sleeping?
Yeah. Well, you kind of look like Terry Kaiser over there. I was going to say, hey, everybody, welcome to Weekend at Bernie's here. He was also on a great episode of Three's Company.
He's on almost 1/4 episodes, isn't he?
Of what?
It seemed like he was in there more than once.
I think he's only on a few, but it's later when Jack had the restaurant. He was the guy that wanted more garlic. More garlic. Yeah. Great stuff. Joey was awesome. Great drummer. I think Corey Taylor's a great frontman. I think the band's awesome. Just a great band. Yeah, I mean, they've been in Slipknot together. They did Stone Sour together. I mean, those guys were buds, so it wouldn't surprise me. And then I think Corey Taylor went solo for a bit. Didn't he also go solo? I don't really follow any of this shit, but when I'm doing cardio in the gym, I put on Slipknot radio, and I'm just like, what the hell? I want to stop breaking things in the gym. I'm like, this is great. This is great.
Isn't this great?
Yeah, they really, I think they were really a great band, can I say? So we're going to have, I know Dane is going to be coming on shortly, and probably Jerry, if Jerry ever gets home he usually gets home from work and does his thing. So we'll have a no fog hat. No fog hat. But yeah, I think they're a great band. I think they're unsung. Has anyone seen the new Peter Grant documentary? Just seen it today. It was cool. I have not.
What's that on, Johnny? Is it on Prime or something?
Johnny, what did you watch it on? Boy, it's warm in my house. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's warm here too. It's freaking muggy.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And temperature's not that high out. It's just the high humidity.
Yeah. Anyone seen Dave? Johnny Kramer just discovered Rammstein. So Rammstein, they play a lot on Slipknot radio. The problem I have with Rammstein is a lot of the stuff isn't that heavy. And it's kind of corny German stuff. Yeah. And then some of the stuff is super heavy. Obviously, everyone knows Du Hast. I mean, if everything sounded in the vein of Du Hast and Mutter, I would be on board. But there's a lot of stuff that sounds like Heino.
We're all living in America.
Yeah, that song's stupid.
Wunderbar.
Yeah, Wunderbar. Yeah, you know who Heino is? Heino was like this albino German folk singer. He looked like the albino version of Roy Orbison. And he sang on the hillsides of Germany. So, yeah. He watched it on YouTube, he said. Megadeth has a new album. Yeah, I haven't listened to I'm still listening to the 4 albums from the 90s that I like. Rust in Peace, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia, and Cryptic Writings. System of a Down was very big when I lived in LA, and they play it sometimes on there. I just think sometimes it's a little weird when you hit a It's like, yeah,
Pick up.
chop. Exactly.
Pick up.
Chrissy, you got to check out Slipknot. Check out the song, either "Spit It Out" or what's that song? Before I Forget. Before I Forget is a monster. It is just, that band is just. I mean, there's 9 guys in the band. They got one guy just banging on like a kettle drum, and it's insane. Was it Chop Suey that goes? I don't know whatever. I think I'm singing the actual lyrics, folks. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jerry Gorham. So yeah, but Slipknot has some really, really good. Menza was awesome. Slipknot has some really the energy of the songs and the flow. Like I said, Spit It Out, Duality is great. Sulfur, Psycho, so anything on All Hope Is Gone. That whole album's fantastic. Angra, just because my fave Kiko. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew about Kiko before he joined Megadeth.
In fact, Chrissy, check out Spit It Out live at Download Festival. That's amazing when the way the whole crowd, and he gets them all to get down. And then he's like, get the fuck up. And they all start jumping like crazy. Like, I mean, it's thousands of people. It's insane looking. I didn't see it yet. The Havana Spittoon. No one sent it to me. I know you and Ricky talked about it. But I haven't seen it. Speaking of which, to Chrissy, Joe's Cigars came in today, so I'll be bringing those on Saturday. He'll be psyched. Yeah, he'll be pumped. And let's see, what else? Jerry, what's been happening with you, sir? You're the Jerry, folks, is now going to be called the Incredible Shrinking Man.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You're leaning down,
That's
man.
what I've been doing, yeah.
Yeah, you're leaning down. I'm going to say I'm seeing less of you. I've been seeing more of you and less of you lately.
40 pounds in 5 months.
That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at this. We should have a porn mustache episode where we all have to wear porn mustaches.
I just have to shave off my goatee.
I was going to ask Krelbo, what's with the shades?
The shades. He's trying to look like Terry Kaiser from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are three guys who look like Weekend at Bernie's that go to this high school.
Yeah, dude.
Can you name the movie that I stole the quote from?
I can, you know that.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, Fast Times.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Only it was Pat Benatar.
No good at that. But Dave, 1 meal a day.
OMAD. This guy is on OMAD, everybody. 1 meal a day.
Yeah, it fucking works, dude.
Yeah, it's called starving yourself.
It's a big fucking meal.
They've been doing it in Ethiopia for years.
Well, it works.
Yeah. So 1 meal a day. What are you eating? What does this 1 meal consist of? Does the meal start at 9 in the morning and end at 9 at night? That's all I want to know.
Not the Al plan.
That would be because Al's on 1 meal a day.
Well, it would appear it worked for him for a period of time. He did, because I didn't see you guys for a little while, and he looks lighter to me.
Yeah, of course he does. He's choking down metformin like they're Pez. That stuff will make you drop pounds.
Oh, that's another thing, Dave.
Yeah.
I stopped all my medication.
Good. You should.
2 months ago.
So let me just talk to the crowd here about Al. Al will come to meet us to eat. We go out for steaks, a couple of times a month. Al will come meet us, and he will sit there and say with a straight face, "This is my first meal today." With a straight face until you stare at him, and then he starts laughing and goes, "All right, well, maybe I did have soup. Soup? What about the 4 cheeseburgers you ate on the way here?"
Yeah. He's a frequent flyer at the Dorchester McDonald's.
Oh.
They all know him. Uncle Al.
Yeah, they do.
Honey Al.
No, if you're going to eat burgers, why McDonald's?
It's right up the street from his house. It's like in his
Yeah, why
neighborhood.
McDonald's? It's like it's the
Convenient.
drive-through's next to his driveway.
Oh,
All right,
he's
so you're doing one meal a day. What time is this meal?
Oh, I try to do it 3 hours before I go to bed because I'm terrible with food, Dave. So the later I eat, the better it is because then I go to sleep. And even though sometimes I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and have some chicken, because I'm hungry. So,
That's not one meal a day now.
correct. I fucked it up.
That's
Right.
the Al one meal a day.
Yeah. Despite all that, it's working. Dave, it hasn't been a whole lot of food, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I know.
Sweet
And eating
potato.
chicken is good.
And chicken, broccoli, and chicken. I'm trying to de-glamorize food in my life.
Yeah,
Just to,
sucks.
because it's been so, it's food porn. It's real porn.
Right.
Right. So
Hamburger.
I mean, it's not quite what
brownies,
my
man.
browser history looks like, but I would say
Brownies.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll call it food porn for the sake of the argument.
Yeah, but getting away from sugar has really helped me.
Yeah. Now, have you been watching any of the Dr. Bird videos?
I have in the past. He got me
Yeah.
really fired up a year or so ago, and I haven't really revisited it. I just kind of found what works for me. And, it probably could use some enhancement. I think I need to start a multivitamin because I haven't been doing that. And I'm not really getting nutrition from, what
Right.
I'm doing.
Can
'Cause
I
I'm just
suggest
doing
not a
fat burn.
multivitamin?
Pardon me. Go ahead. What?
You'll just piss that out.
I said,
All right,
can I
go on.
suggest not a multivitamin?
Then what? Oh, you're
Just taking them separate. I like capsules and everything. I take everything separate. I'm taking separate zinc, magnesium, copper,
Same, yeah.
all in capsules, vitamin C, vitamin E. I'm taking NAC. I'm taking, did I say potassium yet? I take everything separate. I'm not taking a multi. You can see those multivitamins. They look like the 800 milligram ibuprofens. They're so thick with binders. You eat one of those. Just thinking about that in my stomach makes me sick.
I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the only multi I have is the B complex, but I also do a sublingual B12, but I just want to make sure I get the other Bs in. But
I mean, when you say a
everything else is
multivitamin, what are you going
separate.
to go out and get Centrum 1? I just wanted to say Centrum 1.
Yeah, it's
you know,
Jerry's last name is
Cra-
Attrick.
of course it is.
Jerry Attrick.
Krellbar is kind of
Yep.
channeling. Do you guys remember the young ones?
Yep.
Yeah,
I try to
Rick
forget it.
Mayo?
It was one of
Rick
those
Mayo?
British shows that
you're
everyone
like
loved except me.
an amalgam of the cast. Maybe
It had its moments.
you were heavy with Mike though. I thought so, but I was young then. I haven't revisited it, so it could be trash.
Do you know how bad I'm kicking myself for not setting up a Weekend at Bernie's clip right now? That would be the showstopper.
Well, you've got the great record one.
Yeah, but I do like the quote from the young ones. Don't throw that. Jimi Hendrix pissed on that. Because I believe they had a Marshall cabinet somewhere on the set. Or part of the decor.
When I first saw that, it was just the guy Viv with the 3 stars nailed in his forehead.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're fucking fruitcakes, man. That show was wild. But I didn't see it until it was like on MTV or something like that.
Motorhead was on there.
Yeah.
Playing Ace of Spades.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
79, 80, somewhere in that time frame.
80. Yeah.
Yeah, but we ended up seeing it like in 86, 85, 86 on MTV.
I think I saw it. I don't know. Could you have saw it on PBS or something back in the day?
I never did. It's like
you
I
grew up
watch
in Rhode
PBS
Island,
all the
right?
time. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
got Channel 2 and I watch Channel 2 more than 44 and 36.
Yeah, so it would have been on Channel 2.
Yep, watch
if
Monty.
I don't know, maybe
It's
it was
funny
86.
because
I don't know.
your parents always said, watch PBS. It's educational. So I'm a kid. I'm watching. There's Monty Python.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
for
There was
something
just
completely different.
out of bounds shit, man. British humor,
You know what? When I was a kid, I liked Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Yep. Channel 56.
And the Yakety Sax.
Yeah, absolutely.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Benny Hill was a good show.
Fantastic. That's that time frame as well. That kind of looked like it was somehow old and new clips with him and the old guy and
Jack Wright.
Yeah, and it was
Jackie
played
Wright,
heavy
yeah.
to the silent film kind of thing, and then he was kind of a vaudeville guy, and
Well, he was a big Charlie Chaplin fan.
Sure, you can see.
And I believe he met him as well. I believe that was like one of the thrills of Benny's life was
Charlie Chaplin, wasn't he British anyways?
but I think he was French, and I think he lived in France.
Wait a minute,
I come from France.
Was he in like Hollywood back in the day? And then he got maybe exiled to France.
Yeah,
Something
because
fucked up happened with that dude.
Yeah, an
And
underage woman.
Then they invited him back to the Academy Awards when he was like 80 years old.
Oh, I have no idea. You know what?
There's a story there.
I didn't watch the movie Chaplin. Just not something I was interested
It's
in.
in the goddamn history books, Dave.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. No, but this
Robert Downey did a great job.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can encapsulate the
Okay, so
story.
Ruffalo says he's British. Charles Spencer Chaplin.
He was English. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but somehow he pulled a fucking fatty Aardvark and he got excommunicated from the Hollywood scene,
No, well, Fatty
wasn't as severe.
Fatty was accused of something a little worse than Charlie Chaplin.
What did he do?
Oh, he was accused of raping a woman with a certain object.
Did he kill her?
No.
Make her bleed profusely?
But, well, if that's what was alleged, but from all accounts, he got railroaded.
Let me ask you this question. How old are you guys that you guys actually give a shit about actors from the 20s? Because I certainly don't. Look, if these actors weren't on fucking cop shows in the 70s, I don't care. If they didn't act alongside Robert Culp, I'm not interested. If Shatner wasn't part of their fucking co-star, I don't care. Tim Thomas, let me say now. All right, so
Vic Morrow. All right.
What?
Vic Morrow.
Vic Morrow.
What about him?
No, that's a guy you give a shit about. That fits the criteria.
Understand what the hell I'm talking about, do you?
That was great. That was
Vic Morrow. Vic Morrow in the movie The Twilight Zone. I'm going to say this right now. As
Vic
the
Morrow,
racist guy in The Twilight Zone, that could be my favorite 10 minutes of a scene of any film. Vic Morrow in the bar scene of Twilight Zone. Fantastic.
When was Twilight Zone? Was that 1981?
82, I believe.
82? Yeah, that's only like 6 years removed from Bad News Bears when he played Coach Turner. And he looks awful here compared to...
I was just going to say, that's the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He died in that. He died making that movie, Twilight Zone. Helicopter took his head off.
Yeah, and you can actually see it. You can see the video.
Who was cooler than McGarrett?
Is there someone yelling out of the well there?
No,
Jerry?
it's exactly. That's what it sounds like. After I finish talking, I hear a girl saying, "Mister, don't hurt my dog."
All right, you want to meet this little fucker? I'm going to go grab him. This kid's watch this.
There are only 12 episodes of The Young Ones. Really used to love that show. Neil, take off. Yeah, a Young Ones was a show I never got. I mean, I've seen it. I just never thought it was funny. So when I watched, someone told me, you got to watch this show. I watched one episode. I'm like, yeah, it's not Benny Hill.
Well, here comes the thunderstorms.
All righty. And here comes the ice pick in the forehead.
To the forehead. Fembot in a wet t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like the Bad News Bears. It was good.
Oh, I tell people, I mean, like at the cigar joint and stuff, I showed clips. I said, well, I think it was Nate I showed. It's like, you can't get away with that nowadays. And he wasn't really up to speed on the trailer for that thing. And I showed him the trailer. And when Tanner goes off, when the girl comes on the team, great. We got a net. Now a girl. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like people just in disbelief. How'd they get away with that? That's because
Yeah, I remember
people
my
have a sense
father
of
taking
humor.
me to those movies. It's good stuff.
Cheech, that acoustic is an Alvarez. I can't remember the model, AD20SC, I think.
Hollywood Nights was good too.
Oh yeah, quotable. Dudley Laywicker. Let's go. I have to practice my fingerings. Where's my puffer? Hear about the man with 5 penises? His
pants
pants
fit
fit
like
like
a
a glove. Lawrence of Arabia. He's an English guy. Went off to fight Turkish.
All righty. Where's Jerry going, anyways, right now? I don't know what the hell he was doing.
He said he had to get something and show you. I'll show you something. He was talking about his kid, so maybe he's getting his kid. I don't know. He's got to get the duck. Yeah,
His
he's got to.
grandkid, not his kid. His
This
kid's
may
like-
take a while. Duct tape sticks, so it's.
What else is happening, man? Let's see what's
Nothing.
going on.
I didn't smoke that wide, but I'll probably save it for an occasion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
asked
thank
you.
you very
You
much
went.
for-
You didn't
yeah.
answer. And then, also, I let's see. What did I have yesterday? Oh, I smoked a wide yesterday. I love that wide.
Hmm.
And I also got I smoked that Cuban cigar yesterday too.
Is that the one you say is $3 a stick when you get it on online?
Well,
the
right,
wides?
right. Not
Yeah.
only right now. It is
Yeah.
These guys want to say
till
hi
the
to
end
you.
of the month.
Come here. These guys want to say hi to you. Yeah. Come here. See, you're gonna sit up here. All right, guys. So
Oh, there he is.
this is Justin Patrick. My
Hey, Justin.
grandson. See Dave
Hey, Justin.
Brelbar. Yeah, those guys.
He looks like Bernie.
How's it
I know.
going, Justin?
Justin's thinking to himself, "Is that Terry Kaiser? I thought he passed.
This is baby Jimi Hendrix.
He passed in 2 different movies."
Yeah. Did he pass in real life too?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea how old he is.
Okay. Well, he's got to
Probably.
be like 70s.
Yeah.
How can you make this big in Jeeps? Let's try
You
this.
see on the
Oh,
bottom
yeah,
where it's on the bottom, if you put the mouse on the word show, you'll see a little square.
No, I adjusted it here. It's bigger. now.
All righty. All right.
He's
good.
83.
All right. So he's still alive.
Yeah, he was born.
Who's that? Who's still
Terry
alive?
Kaiser.
Yep.
Mommy. Yeah, mommy.
He's a year older than my
mother's
mother
helping
was.
his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So show him what you get to drink.
Yeah.
Show him.
Charlie S. Welcome. What are you drinking there? All right. Sippy cup.
Sippy cup. Could have anything in there. You're a funny little dude.
Baba.
What? Oh yeah, drink. You got a drink. I got a drink.
There you go.
Okay. You gonna do a thing like this, like at the wedding?
And I'll be drinking from my DL show mug.
Hmm.
So, boys, I bumped up cardio today.
To what?
To the speed. I bumped it up to 3.7, which I thought would be no big deal. I'm like, oh, I'll inch up. It was brutal. Very
Well,
different.
where'd you go from?
3.6.
Just wow.
I'm telling you, it's one little thing. I didn't think it was going to be, hey, Strat-Tad, welcome. I didn't think it was
if you
going to
do
be
the
anything.
math on it, Dave. It's a percentage, right?
Papa, gonna go.
So 2 or 3% more, you feel it. You know,
You feel it, especially when you got
Like
that
anything
13
else.
incline. So,
it's heavy.
Papa,
Yeah.
gonna go.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go.
Oh, the car. Yeah. We're gonna no, not right now. I know. That's a surprise. I forgot I left it there. You want to see what he's talking about? All right. I'm gonna show these guys what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, come here. All right. Hold on.
Midnight Strummer, welcome. For those of you guys who haven't noticed, I posted a new video today. It's the lesson for
Gladys Knight.
Midnight Train to Georgia.
Okay. All right.
All
All right.
what do
So
you got
here's
there?
the not to hijack the conversation, but here we go. So what is this? This is a little remote control car.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Camaro.
Yep. Very good. Modern. Okay.
Yeah, the modern Z28.
Okay. Cool. You like Justin? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Grampy like shit like this.
So you're going to paint it.
No. Hold on. Where the fuck are we? Here we go. Okay. 68 GT 500.
Okay.
Can't buy this in the store now.
Yeah.
Remote control.
Yeah.
You dig what's going to happen here?
I think we can figure it out. We can do 1 + 1.
Yep. So we're going to configure this to this body.
Yeah, Papi.
So the best part, I got 2 of these at Hobby Lobby today with remote controls.
Yeah.
Guess how much money?
Yeah.
$10.
It was $16.99.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'm like, all right, we'll
Inflation.
figure this out. We'll try to make this shit happen. This
All right,
is a
and
little
if-
wider than this, but
And for those of you who haven't fallen asleep from that, Jerry's just
I have. We
Wow. no love for the RC.
Yeah.
You got love for the RC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RC
yeah, he
Cola.
has.
Attaboy.
Right.
So that'll be a fun thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take, 10 days to figure that out.
Yeah.
Justin likes cars
Pika.
and he likes guitars too.
Yeah.
Go.
All righty.
Down the road, okay?
Papa, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how if this show could ever come to a complete halt.
Papa, get over.
What the fuck?
Papa, get the go.
It's like,
It's like
Christ.
son of a bitch.
Get the go.
Oh, yeah. Don't ever work with pets nor children.
Right. Didn't they teach you that in fucking film school?
Look at this kid, though. He's a
Papa, get the
star.
go.
He's a star.
I was just gonna say,
If you
The
guys want to
sitcoms
see
when
Justin
they-
point around the room more and point at objects, just type in 1. Please. We've given you. Anissa Jones is going to be on next. She's going to talk about her drug problem. Oh, she's dead. Okay. Sorry, she died when she was.
She doesn't
8.
have a problem anymore.
Papa, get the
No,
go.
it's no problem.
yeah, see, no problem.
No, no problem. No problem.
Papa, get the go.
All right, please give.
With the
His,
Bob.
Justin's got a gig at the telethon coming up.
Right. I got Jerry's grandmother on the line. She wants to give the station $1,500. She's on a fixed income.
How does she do it?
That's,
Papa, get the go.
All right. All right.
Papa, get the go.
You know,
Papa,
I
get the
don't-
go.
I don't-
Get the
yeah,
go. Get the
these-
go. Get the
these
go.
guys,
Get the
I don't
go.
think
Get
they
the go.
appreciate the art.
Papa, get the
Yeah.
go. Get the go.
Okay?
Papa,
All right.
get the go. Get the
All
go.
right.
Get the go. Papa, get the go. Get the go.
You're going to go see Mama?
Monday Night Football tonight. 2 games on. Minnesota, Eagles, Buffalo. 3 teams. Uncle Leo.
Papa, get the go.
You could have said hello.
Papa, get the bigger.
What are you doing?
All right, Jerry. I'm going to mute your mic in a second. Christ.
Well, we were gonna say rules of sitcoms is bringing in a new character that's a child. Usually, it's almost like jumping the shark.
Yeah. Well, this was Spike.
Spike on Happy Days.
They never
yeah.
brought Spike back. When they brought
Yeah,
Chachi on Happy Days, they were like, oh, let's bring this kid back. He's good. They never brought back Spike. And for good reason. 2 games
Anyone
on.
hear that in the background?
What is it?
Thunder.
No. Negative.
Negatory.
0.0.
Point zero.
Exactly. All righty. Dave's getting more thumbs down than that Amazon show.
Our ratings just went below CNN.
What's the Amazon show? Was there an Amazon show? I have no idea. Guess the ratings were so bad I didn't even know about it. I just seen a video why Spike never returned to the show. I think because the ratings were bad, right? On the episode he was on? That's what I would assume.
The Nielsen's, probably had a conniption.
Unreal. So, you know who messaged me today? This is clearly a conversation I'm having with Jerry. Is Steve Tedesco messaged me today.
Oh, yeah?
Steve bought a Dumble clone.
From whom?
And he's loving it. Let me look to see if... Oh, you know what?
Wait. Is it a...
It's made in Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, let's hit on this Spike thing again. He was actually on the show for a while. It says he appears in the 2nd through the 4th seasons of the show, and he's played by an actor named Danny Butch. Chachi is Fozzie cousin, blah, blah, blah. He appears in
It's
the
called
5th
the
season.
Wonderland Overdrive by something factory. I don't... Look that up. Wonderland Overdrive.
Oh, okay.
Tell me who the maker is. It's a nice looking amp. Looks like this. It's got those
Wonderland
retro...
Overdrive. Amplified Nation.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
much
Amplified
was it?
Nation.
Where are they out of? Somewhere in Mass, right?
I'll see. I know a used one goes for, with the 2 cabs, goes for $4,000.
No, this is a combo. What did he pay for this combo?
Oh, okay.
It was a Lord of the Rings series?
See about
Folks,
shop.
please hit the thumbs up, regardless of what you've been watching on the show tonight.
I'm looking at the
asked-
site. I don't see any combos. They're all heads.
Maybe it's
Hold
a
on.
custom cab.
No, it's a combo.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the guy,
What I
Put
say
the
it's called
head
Wonderland
and put it in a
Overdrive,
box.
right?
Wonderland Overdrive.
Combo. Just typed it in. Version 2. Here it is. $3,600.
What? Did fucking Steve spend that kind of money?
I guess
Well, hey,
so.
it's cheaper than a Dumble.
Yeah.
If you were to name this amplifier, wouldn't you just call it Bryant? Brian Dumble?
Wait.
Like,
How
horrible
does
joke.
he get away with this? Because he's got amps on here, but he's got one called the Steel String Singer, and I believe isn't that a Dumble model?
Dumble's dead.
Yeah, he's dead,
it-
but doesn't mean you can steal his
Yeah, it does.
unless they got the patent.
It's
What
got
do
no
they call-
business.
What do they call like his Holy Grail amp? The Overdrive Special. Or
The
something?
Overdrive
yeah.
special.
Yeah, and they're like 40 G's now. They were 10 grand back in the day. I saw one $39,995.
Yeah, he would make you buy it, sign a contract before you could buy it.
Yeah.
You
Ray
promise
had
not
one.
to leave it alone. You promise not to take it apart. You promise only have it serviced by him. Then he
Wow.
caked
You
it with
cannot-
mayonnaise inside.
It was basically like the end of Happy Fun Ball. Please do not taunt the amplifier. Please store the amplifier in a safe spot.
What do you know
Happy
about
Fun-
it, Dave? Like,
What's
the
that
secret-
from, Dave? Happy Fun Ball,
SNL.
SNL.
It was a commercial
that-
on FF. It's
Phil
happy.
Hartman. Yeah,
It's fun. It's Happy Fun Ball. Then they're like, store Happy Fun Ball in a safe, cool, dry place. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. Now, what were you saying?
What's the secret sauce with the Overdrive Special? You know, the tube section, the preamp.
No, but
How many knobs?
Andy Fuchs has been making the ODS, and to me, it's like if you're gonna you want to spend some big money and get a great amp, just buy the Fuchs. Get the ODS 2 that Fuchs makes. He makes it with a it comes with a an effects loop, which the original Dumble didn't.
Sure.
It's got all the it sounds great. I mean, these people, it's like that chase these sounds and tones. If you can afford the amp and it's not a big deal to you, that's fine. Are you going to sound like Larry Carlton or Robin Ford because you're playing a Dumble? No, you're not. You're not going to sound, it's like amazing with all these people with these amps and everything else. It's
you're going to sound like Carlton Banks.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to sound like yourself. So play something that you like the way it sounds. If you dig it, buy it. But I don't see, I've never heard a Dumble. Like Larry Carlton in the 80s was like all about Dumble, and everybody went crazy for Dumble because of that. Mm-hmm. Same with Robin Ford. But when you listen to the stuff that Larry Carlton played with Steely Dan on the first solo album he did, 335, he's playing a fucking Fender. He's playing classic Fender amps. So who gives a shit?
What overdrive did he use with it, though?
I think he claimed to go right in.
Ooh,
Randy, what's up?
To get that breakup, you'd have to really crank the fuck out of it. And it doesn't sound like it's cranked.
And compress it.
Well, from what I hear,
don't have that fucking.
Well, he actually had, from what I hear, there were two amps he used. One was the 57 Deluxe, and the other is a Princeton that was hot rodded.
What year was that?
70.
No, it's like a 60. It's a 60s Princeton that I think belonged to his brother-in-law or something. It wasn't his amp, but it was his.
So it was modern.
I thought you meant when he used it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he used it during like the Steely Dan sessions.
Well, that stuff's got a lot of sing to it.
The VHT Pitbull is a great head. You can also look for the Fryette because it's the same amp. Loved Acoustic Carlton, Alone But Never Alone, and Discovery. Yeah, Discovery's a great record.
Yeah, it says he plugged into a 50 Tweed Fender Deluxe for the Steely Dan sessions.
Right. I know that's what they say. But then there's another interview where it's someone with him and somebody, and he does mention using a Princeton also on the leads.
Yeah, because you can't tell me Kid Charlemagne is a cranked friggin' Fender to the point it's breaking. I mean, that's too friggin' smooth.
It's a 335 plugged into a 15-watt amp. Could be decked. I mean, you can never tell when an amp's loud in the studio when you're playing it. I mean, when you listen to what album was it? I think it's Sticky Fingers, where they say the amplifier was so damn loud in the studio it was obnoxious. On the record, you can't. I mean, it doesn't sound like a loud amp. You know what I mean? It just sounds like a fucking amp. But he wanted a certain breakup out of like a twin or something. It was insane.
Yeah, Nuno's sound on Waiting for the
Okay, Jan is saying it's a 335 tube screamer into a Princeton.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the Princeton is not a straight Princeton. I think it's a modded Princeton, and I don't know what the mod is.
12-inch.
Something's been tweaked on the amp.
12-inch speaker.
I don't know. I don't know who did the mod.
That was a mod. Makes it sound bigger.
Well, I love, I had the amp maker on my show, Vintage Sound Amps, Rick Hayes, and he does the Princeton with the 12-inch speaker.
Yeah, well, it's just, just makes it that much better, usable.
Let me answer this for you, Jerry. Cheech, Jerry not only is a Fender guy, he also plays all Dan Electros.
All right. can I just tell you, the best Fender amp I have for the sound in my head is a 64 Deluxe Reverb. And I got very lucky acquiring that amplifier.
I do like the Princeton's. I like the Princeton circuit better, but that's just me.
Well, I had one of those. I had a early Silverface one, and I no longer have it, and it's fine. I don't give a fuck because I got the Deluxe, and and to me that sounds kind of it's got a crunchy tone to it when you get it up around 6 or whatever. They definitely sound way warmer than a 65 or a 6 to my ears. But if you want a crunchy amp, you got to get a fucking Marshall. And it took me kind of like way too long of putting distortion pedals in front of Fender amps to realize you should just get a fucking Marshall. And then just use a little bit of crunch just to kind of shape your sound. And after I did that, I really like the sound a whole lot more, you know. You turn it down a little bit, it cleans up, and it always stays warm. And then it's got that sing to it, you know, that burn. So,
well, yeah, it'll definitely take some of the characteristics away, Jan, like some of the bright out. I have to disagree about the Marshall. I prefer the sound of a Fender with a pedal.
Duly noted.
Yeah,
That's
Fender
why
stick pedal.
all of that shit is commercially available. You can mix, match, and do whatever the hell you want to do, man.
Oh, I agree. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
We're talking about preferences by L'Oreal.
Orange amplifiers,
Horrible.
Black Star.
Horrible.
Well, I'm not mentioning them for you to do that. I'm just saying there's other things.
Hated it.
Dude, I fucking played a Crate 212 XL, from whatever 80s, early 90s.
Right. I like Crate.
Just the ugliest fucking thing. Just so no frills. But I got a sound out of it. I wanted to use it because I was in a rehearsal situation that was 2 flights of stairs.
I do, Johnny. That's not a secret.
So
they made a tube combo.
I have multiple in every color.
I can't remember what tube combo they made in the 80s. That was a great tube combo, though. There was a couple there was a Hendrix guy. He was actually the official Hendrix guy with the wild blue. But anyways, he played through a Crate when he was playing the clubs and sounded awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, every amp sounds good when you're not playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah, because I play through it and say, "Hey, you want to try it out?" And then I listen to some. I
And
make it sound like that.
And certain players, and I would say the name, Jerry, but I don't want to. Certain people can buy the best equipment. I'm going to type it in the private chat, Jerry. Just go to private chat. Certain people can buy the best amps, the best pedals, and never make it sound good.
God, who is he gonna say? Who is he gonna say?
Well, it's no one I know.
You don't know him.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, he had I'm not.
Don't go into detail.
Yes.
Right.
And there's another guy. Oh,
there's plenty of them, but that one comes to mind when I think of somebody who
the guy
will
with the
always say to me, "Come check out this pedal. I got this great pedal. You got to see me play."
Oh.
And then I go see him play, and I'm like, "That is an awful sound."
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's funny. You know what pedal people seem to love that I never like is the Prince of Tone, and the King of Tone from Analog Man.
What are they? I don't know. Never heard of that shit. What is it? Is it a distortion? Is it a?
It's an overdrive.
Well, sure
it's an overdrive. Okay.
It's an overdrive. If people in the chat are familiar with pedals, you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with the Prince of Tone and the King of Tone from Analog Man. Now, Analog Man is Mike Piera, I believe his name is, out of Connecticut. Makes great stuff. No question.
Analog Man.
But boy. So a friend of mine, Rob, invited me over to his house This guy, I thought I had a lot of pedals. This guy has a pedal problem. And he pulled out, and I was telling him about my absolute disdain for the King of Tone. And he pulls out a custom one that he had Mike make for him. And his sounded fantastic. And I'm like, why don't they make them all like this?
Oh.
And he's like, well, it's all these options. You got to go in. It cost him like $400 for the pedal.
Sure.
I'm like, forget it. Like the regular pedal, the King of Tone to me there's nothing great about it. I think Charlie S says the Klon. I'm also not a big Klon fan. I mean, if you want a Klon sound and you play it and it's nice and that's what you dig, I mean, I'm sure I would think it sounds good. You like
I'm a
the Klon
fan. I'm a
So,
Klon fan
Dave.
from Kentucky Fried Movie. Then Dr. Klon.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Food
Well-
is a clone, correct?
That is correct by Electro Harmonics. Yes.
Yeah. Right. I bought one. I love it. I run it.
Okay.
Right in front of them.
By all
Perfect
accounts,
compliment to the.
you can get the Chinese
2204
knockoff, and it sounds really close to it too.
It's great. It's a clone of you're putting it in front of a Marshall though, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Just a little. Ooh.
Does the same thing as a Tube Screamer. It does the same thing as the SD1 from Boss. I think the SD1 does it better than those two.
All right.
And there's not many times I'm complimenting Boss pedals. So if I tell you that, hey, Rico, welcome from sunny Arizona. If I'm telling you that, no, the price, I mean, but there's Prince of Tone. No, the Prince of Tone is not a Klon. No. So the Klon, yeah, the J Rocket Archer's nice. Look, those are nice clones. I think Matthew Electronics or Matthew Effects, they made a great clone called the Clone, and then they changed it to the Architect. I think that was a good version of the Klon. There's a lot of good pedals that imitate what the Klon did, especially since everybody figured out what chips they were using and everything else. My question is that the end-all, be-all overdrive pedal? No. For my money, I would say the 808 is the best overdrive pedal, round-wise. In front of a Marshall, I prefer a Boss ST1. However, the modified 808 by Kingtone, called the Soloist or the Duelist, is the greatest pedal, period, in my opinion. But the 808 circuitry, for me, hands down, is the best. You can get them cheap. There's no reason to chase a real Klon. You guys know who Danish Pete is?
Yep, off of Anderton.
Danish Pete works at Andertons. And so the Andertons, they do those pedal videos, and they did the shootout between one was a real Klon for $5,000, and then the others were like all knockoffs. And you couldn't tell the difference from one to the next. They were there at saying, oh, yeah, this one's a little bit more. No, not. It didn't sound any different. And no one cares, because if one was a little brighter, all you got to do is there's a tolerance in each pedal. You just adjust the fucking thing to make them all sound the same.
Yeah,
They have the
you're not
same
going to have
basic
all the
tone.
knobs. You're not going to have all knobs in the same positions. I mean, it's like
Let
If you put
me just
all
say
in
to Ricky
same
Compton, the
position, it'll
Timmy
sound different.
is a fantastic pedal.
Timmy.
Fantastic. But I don't think of it as an overdrive as much as I think of it as a solo boost with a little hair. If I compared the Timmy to the 808, I would say there's no contest. The 808 is going to beat it every time. But if you're going to say, I need to use this pedal as a solo boost, well, the 808's useless because it's going to color your tone. Whereas the solo boost in the Timmy's phenomenal, transparent, doesn't fuck up your sound, and will give you a little more hair without changing the tone. I think the 808 circuit is a lot better than the TS9, at least to my ear when I play them. And again, the Duelist and the Soloist are all knockoffs of the 808. Is anyone
got
familiar
Dane.
with the different color variations of love pedals?
Hello,
it's called-
Dane.
I don't know, Shane. I will say this. The Timmy will sometimes change the chip and use a different color. They had a red. So I have 3 Timmy pedals. One with the, and I think 2 of them are original, and then one has the other chip. And the originals I do like a little bit better. But in general, and again, it's all my opinion, because when it comes down to it, Jerry could say the Soul Food is the greatest pedal that he loves. And somebody else could say it, and I go see them and I think they sound great. There's something about when you play a pedal and you have a sound in your head, how it responds, that doesn't necessarily translate to actual sound.
Right. I got very lucky in acquiring that pedal. It was like I went to a gig and forgot my bag of tricks. What's that? $100.
Sugar Drive.
Ooh. See, that's
Right, it's a
Bear,
clon
like
pedal,
Sugar
right?
Drive.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so. A transparent overdrive.
Oh, okay.
Or it's the Timmy.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't think of the Klon as transparent
Is
at
that
all.
thing like baby sized, Dean?
Yeah.
It's like pack of
Yeah, it's a
cigarette
mini
size or something?
I don't think of the Klon as a transparent overdrive, though.
No, it's kind of
It definitely
No,
has a color.
no. It's
It definitely has some color to it.
crunch. You can.
there's actually quite a bit of gain on a clone.
No, I know, but there's a gain on the Timmy too. But Timmy is like real natural sounding. Hannibal saying that MXR does it, Timmy. Yeah, I know they work with Paul Cochran. Somebody said something. Oh, Ricky Compton said something interesting. He uses the Tony Iommi treble booster. Another great pedal to put in front of a Marshall is any type of treble booster. My favorite boutique one is Daredevil Effects. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You remember Scott's Krispy Kreme? That was supposed to be.
Why
a
are you
good
saying
one.
sorry?
Well, I'm not really apologizing, but I run my Marshall at 3 on the
Germanium boost?
treble.
That's not what a treble booster does.
I understand that, Dave, and anybody who would fucking boost treble in a Marshall's like, what the fuck's wrong?
It's not about boosting the treble. That's why I'm saying it's not what it does.
It's
It
a
slams the front
misnomer.
end.
Yeah, it's a misnomer.
It slams the front end with treble coming out of
Okay.
your pickups. The amp is going to respond the same way your amp is set up. But Tony Iommi, what's the guy from Queen? Brian May, all those guys use treble boosters in front of their amps because in the old days, that was the only way to get those amps to overdrive.
Yeah,
way
the
they wanted them.
Rangemaster.
The Dallas Rangemaster, exactly. Well, the Dallas Rangemaster clone that I love, is the Daredevil Effects Silver Solo. It's fantastic. In fact, you can borrow it, Jerry, and try it in front of your Marshall and tell me what you think.
Well, to me,
That's,
right, I've used
that's
JMP Marshalls.
that's a Seymour Duncan, isn't
Yeah.
it? A pickup booster. Yeah, there it
in
is.
like the Plexi, like the early 70s Marshall.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried those amps, right? And then owning the 800, it's more like the late 70s to 80s. And I would categorize that as not.
Yeah, but you're using series names and not the amp. You're talking about the 2203 circuit or the 2204 circuit.
Right.
Right, but the 800 also had the 2210 and the 2205, which are nothing like you would like.
Well, what I'm saying is that amp's been around for, it predates the 800. But to my
76.
ears, all right, to my ears, the early 70s ones have a certain voice, a certain sound, and then you get
Of
into
what?
like the distortion, the crunch, the
On the 2203s and 2204s?
like a 1970 Marshall.
Yeah,
right,
but that's a
50
different circuit.
That's what I'm
It's a different
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like, because
that's a different amp, though.
My
It's a
point
different
is
circuit.
this. My point is this. You mentioned these stomp boxes these old school rock and roll guys used to get a certain distortion, right? Or
Yes.
The 800 or the 2203 or 4 circuit, to my ears, has a more modern crunch sound, a la Def Leppard, a la Van Halen, a la fucking, like Black Sabbath.
Well, of course, I'm going to disagree with you because Van Halen used a Plexi.
I know, and I know, and he totally manipulated it with the
Right, but all those
variax.
guys, yeah. See,
But
Glenn
let's just
Tipton
go
used
with-
the
what's
treble
the first
booster.
one I said? Def Leppard. Okay. To me, that sounds like a more modern, and then 10
Yeah, but
years
they're not
after
playing those amps plugged straight in. They're using stuff in front of it.
that, I don't doubt that, but I'm just saying, when I sat down in front of this amp that I have here, I said, "Wow, this sounds like the sound everybody was going for." Boom, out of the box, and then all I needed was just a little bump to do what I'm doing, and it was great. It just had a shit ton of distortion for an amp out of the box to my ears. Now, I don't know if anybody, I got this thing, it was 30 years old when I got it, so I don't know if somebody did something to it, but it sounded like, wow, this is what.
Let me just answer Charlie S. real quick. Charlie S., the Maxon 808, Maxon was the original manufacturer of the Tube Screamer. All of them.
Max off.
So Maxon made all of the Ibanez effects until, and I want to say it's in the 2000s, maybe 2008. Sometime in the 2000s, Ibanez decided to take over the manufacturing of their own pedals. So a Maxon 808 is the Tube Screamer. I mean, it's the same fucking thing. They've been making it for Ibanez for years.
Now, Dane had a pickup booster there from Seymour Duncan. Any opinions on that, Dane? Have you played through that?
I think it's a great booster. It really, you'd step on it and your amp gets twice as loud, just like that.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
does
think
the same thing as
does
like
it
a
well.
tone. Yeah, I don't think it flavors it. There is a little switch here. But yeah, I just think it just makes it louder, like really louder.
Yeah, it's to slam the front end of an amp again.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
the trip with that. And to say, like, let me just say this:
Another one.
Judas Priest records, those guys always use the same Marshalls, those 2203s from like 76, 77. But
Okay,
they put shit in front of it.
I understand that, but that's a perfect example of a modern rock tone. So it's 1976, 7, that era. Because you listen to records from like 1973, 4, they have a certain sound to them. You know what I mean? And the metal tone is kind of what I have in my head.
Right. Well, that's
Kinda in
because
between.
okay. So what you're referring to
Aardvark.
is that amp came out. It was the first amp with the master volume. Before that, the only way to get that sound out of a Marshall was to put the volume on 10. But there were people that went and what's this? Oh, this is Neil Moser pedal.
Moser.
Yeah. So when he wired up all those BC Riches, like the BC Rich bitch and all that, and it had a boost. So this is basically just the boost that was in those old BC Riches. This is just in a pedal form.
Huh.
I can't even comment on the BC Rich booster in the guitars. I've never had one with the booster.
Wow. Fancy
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, nice.
It's way too
Yeah.
big. I don't know why the pedal has to be this big.
Well,
I
inside
think
of
that
it,
was
there's a
maybe
mouse on
mistake
a
his
wheel.
part.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking you, Dane, how much is the TSL 100 in the back?
That bad boy right there.
Oh.
It's broken. It needs serviced. Apparently,
Apparently, the price just came down.
the
We're taking off.
the effects loop is not working, and that 4-button foot switch, or is it a 5-button? That foot switch on top is not working. So I only had it for about a week, and I haven't done any. I haven't even plugged it in. So I have to get it going and double check it and do all that kind of stuff.
Charlie S., I like it into a clean amp. I like at the verge of breakup is where I like to hear that pedal. It's your Stevie Ray Vaughan sound. It's got that bite to it. And again, I wouldn't rush to buy an 808, Charlie S. Go buy the King Tone Soloist is a better pedal. There's also a pedal by Honeybee Amps called the there's the Clean Boost, but It's an SRV. It's called the Double Trouble pedal by Honeybee Amps. But honestly, the King Tone Soloist is all you need. Can you get the sound with this pedal? You can get the sound. Okay. I bought an Ibanez Tube Screaming 81, brand new, ran it in front of a 76 JMP 100 head.
Here we go.
The tone was huge.
Yep. Here you go.
Which model, James Stewart, which model JMP was it? Because everything back then was JMP.
You said it's 100.
I know, but there was the 2203. There was a 1959.
Oh.
There's a master volume and there's a non-master volume. They made them. In fact, the JCM 800, when it first came out, there was a 1959 JCM 800 with no master volume. Yeah, no, the Honeybee Clean Boost is not going to be enough for you if you're looking for a more drive. The King Tone has twice the drive of an 808, but it's an 808 circuit, but he doubled it. Ride the Lightning Krellbar was a tube screamer in front of a Marshall. It could be one of the absolute worst tones ever.
Yeah.
And the problem is because that Marshall, I believe they were using 2210s.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate the sound of that amp.
What's that? What's the
It's the 100-watt 2-channel JCM 800.
Oh. Yeah.
It used to be like a
channel switching ones, man.
They're very thin sounding. I mean, it's not good.
I can hear the song playing in my head right now. Their records always sounded fucked up to me, man.
Okay, Zim's finding out info on that Marshall.
Oh, that's right. I actually
What's going
like
on
the
with
tone on Master of Puppets was probably their best tone.
Fixed.
And that people say Marshalls. I think there were Mesas on that too.
Yeah, they got Mesa later, but
I'm not sure.
They were using Mark 4s, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, that's like
and also
90.
I think there was
86.
a time when they mixed. They would double up on the amp sounds too.
MVP, the Rockbox boiling point has been my go-to overdrive for the longest time. That is a modified TS9 circuit. Great pedal. Marshall 100 had the master volume and preamp. Okay, so it was a 2203. James Stewart, where's that head now? And let me give you my address to ship it. There's no way it was a rectiverb. Absolutely no way. The rectiverb did not come out in 1986.
Yeah, it's later. 90 something.
Or 85 when they were working on that album.
Elroy says Black Album's the best Metallica tone.
Yeah, it's a loud head. 100 watts is loud. 50 watts is loud. I love the 2204 circuit.
What's Enter Sandman? What record?
That's the Black Album.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound bad. That doesn't sound bad.
Now those could be rectifiers, rectiverbs.
Yeah, that's way later. But
that's it. There you go. Elroy's got it. He's right. It's the Mark IIC Plus. That's what they were using back then when they got their sound together. Hey, Janice Lala. Yeah, that's it. The Mark IIC.
Is that a 100 watt or a 60?
Yeah.
Or
I think it's 100.
Yeah, they're so fucking loud, dude. Oh.
But the tone, but not on Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning, I think of those 2210s, which I hate that sound. And I like that album.
Yeah.
I like the album. So what's up with that amp, Dane? I thought I saw you talking to somebody about it because I saw a lot of pointing, cussing.
Yeah, the guy that just left, he's like, you can get a rev. He said you can get some sort of a rev part that you can mount inside that thing and hook it all up, and you'll never have to bias the tubes ever again and all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
Oh God. So what you're saying is the effects loop doesn't work.
Yeah, a guy traded it in. He goes, dude, I just don't want this thing anymore. And he traded it. He's a lefty. And I had two very inexpensive lefties over there. And he said, will you take the amp for these two little, $100 left-handed guitars? I'm like, sure, if you want to do that. And he goes, the effects loop doesn't work and the foot switch doesn't work. But if you push the buttons on the face of the amp to get to the different channels, it sounds great.
Oh, so that's not a tough fix.
I
Not
said,
for you to fix. That's a project for somebody. Somebody named Jerry Gorham would love to take that project on.
Guys don't want to lug big amps around anymore.
It's a TSL.
Is it heavy?
I know.
And you have to have a 412 cabinet to set it on, and guys don't want
Everything
to do that
I'm
anymore.
everything
No,
I'm
Jerry
looking
doesn't.
at says that the Ride the Lightning Marshall was a Marshall JMP 2203.
Really? I don't think so. I always heard it was the 2-channel.
Now this is guitar.com, so I mean like,
JMP 2203.
They probably had a Boss heavy metal pedal in front of it.
no, they had a tube screamer. If anything, if Dave doesn't like the tone, it's a testament to them probably shouldn't have used the tube screamer in front of it. They probably should use something else.
No, but I'll tell you right now, like another tone I can't stomach is Pantera. And I think Terry Date fixes it as best he can. But I'm always like, that sound.
Well, I will say this. It's like, it was unique. It was totally different than any other metal tone out there. I mean,
It doesn't mean it good.
whether you like it or not, it's subjective. I mean, some people like that buzzy friggin' compressed
Yeah,
sound.
it definitely got people's attention. It sounded
You think so?
different.
Because
Yeah,
I remember I was the only one that
they were
had
good
that album
songs.
at that time. It wasn't until Master of Puppets came out that people started paying attention to Metallica.
Live, it sounded pretty good when I saw them live.
Yeah, but who knows what they're using live? When did you see them live?
1992
Come on,
Volga display.
Conversation.
I saw him right before that first
Oh, you're
album.
talking about Pantera.
Pantera.
Yeah, Pantera. And the only thing that I ever heard on the radio was Cemetery Gates, and I heard that for about a month. And then they played out here at UFest out here in Gilbert. And at the end of Cemetery Gates where he's screaming,
Yeah.
Yep.
With the guitar. Oh, yeah, it's great.
on those harmonics and all that.
Yeah.
Dimebag broke a string right at the end of the song. So they just went, instead of that great ending where he's screaming and they hit those harmonics and they
Yeah, I
just
love
went,
that.
"Bomb," and ended the song because he broke
Oh,
a
that
string.
sucks.
And then they looked at each other like, damn.
Now, am I crazy? But in the beginning of Cemetery Gates, when he's playing that acoustic guitar part or that clean guitar part, is there a piano playing the bass line?
It's possible.
It sounds like a piano hitting that boom, boom.
Brand new strings.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes
No.
P basses
No
do
way.
sound like piano.
No way. No.
Well, play
Listen
the
to
track.
it.
Play the track.
Someone listen to it without playing it because I don't want to get shut down.
Oh, what's the name of the track, Dave? I can listen to it.
Cemetery Gates by Pantera.
Just the intro.
Is it Cemetery or Cemetery Gates?
I think it's Cemetery.
No, I know. That's the Smiths have a song, Cemetery Gates. I'll go to sunny day and I'll meet you at the Cemetery Gates.
Seminary Gates.
That's
Stay
from
on the green with Hammett on Ride the Lightning, and they sounded
Let's
fierce.
see.
With the stone.
March
Really? I'm not
20th, 1993 was when I saw them.
Wow.
Wow. Well,
Is anyone
It's
listening
Sacred
to the
Reich.
song?
I'm looking it up.
What year was that album released? That first Pantera album?
Vulgar?
Cemetery
Oh, the
Gates
front
album.
1990.
1990.
That-
So I
that was
saw him in
Cowboys
spring
from
in
Hell.
1990. That's when I saw him. Spring in 1990. And it was a big outdoor. It was at a baseball field. It was where the Milwaukee Brewers have their spring training. And they had a big stage set up out there. and their drum sound. I just remember hearing, you know, their sound check, and he went through his drums, and I was like, whoa, good sounding drums. I didn't pay much attention to the guitar tone.
Well, you probably saw him in 1991 because it got released in July of 1990.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
well, whenever that song Cemetery Gates started getting a little radio play, that's
Yeah,
when
it
I
took a
saw
while
them,
to.
because it might have taken a year or so.
It took
but
off in 1991. I remember
yeah,
because
so
I
maybe
just
it
joined
was
the band then.
maybe it was fall. I remember it not being too hot out, so it was either fall of
Jerry, is that
90
you
or
that I'm
spring of
hearing?
91, or winter maybe. I don't know. Winter of 90 maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm gonna mute Jerry if he plays it. Hold on. Yeah. So I always, when I hear that song, I always hear a piano on those bass notes. A piano is like, how many strings are on the piano? 3 or 2? No, nobody.
Oh yeah. When you're trying to tune a piano, there's 3. You hit one note on your piano, and it's actually the hammer is actually hitting 3 strings.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's like. And it has a definite sound.
Oh, you're
that
talking
you're
about
hearing.
Cemetery Gate. Yeah, that at the beginning.
It's got to be a piano playing that bass.
With the bass.
Have you ever tried to
Either
tune
way, there's a piano in there. What?
Have you guys ever tried to tune a piano?
No.
I tune a fish.
Oh God.
That was the obvious
It
one.
was coming. I
100%.
set you guys up for it. I was hoping Dave would get it, but
No. I the joke was there. It was like such a lob. I had to avoid it, like the plague.
I caught it.
I actually have a piano at my house, and I have my F sharp is way out of tune, and I've gotten in there with just put a ratchet on it, and I've tried to making it worse.
All right, Cowboys from Hell. I like Cowboys from Hell. That's a great tune.
Yep. Psycho Holiday.
All right, Cowboys from Hell.
I enjoyed that album, Cowboys from Hell, but then some of the songs on there, I'm like, okay, they're just trying way too hard to sound way too heavy. If they
hold on. Bingo. I just Wikipedia. It says Rex Brown, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, and piano on track 5. That's Cemetery Gates.
Yep.
Wow.
It was a fucking piano. I can hear that when I'm in the gym. Oh, sorry, Jerry. Hold on. Let me unmute you. When I was in the gym and I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's a fucking piano.
In the intro?
Yeah. The note.
Yeah,
Boom.
I can't hear it on the phone.
It's the first note that's played. It's the bass notes.
Yeah.
It's on the piano.
It's lost.
A, E to D, I
Yeah.
think is that 4 chord.
But the bass play is rather active on that opening bit. And you can tell it's like, you know, he's kind of it sounds like new strings on the bass.
It's a piano.
Well,
Hey, Snowball, I know it told you.
It says it right on Wikipedia. I just looked it
I
up,
understand,
Jerry.
but the bass line is
Whatever the bass line is, I don't care. I'm just
obvious.
saying in the beginning, the downbeats of those notes, the boom, boom, is a piano. You can hear that you can definitely hear the hammer striking the thing.
So you guys are talking
There's a certain
Pantera.
sound.
What's your thoughts on Pantera going out touring next year with original singer?
So
Rex
it's funny
on
you say
bass,
this.
and Zach Wilde on guitar.
oh wow.
There was a metal girl at the gig I played on Saturday, and she's calling off every fucking metal tune while we're playing 70s fucking yacht rock.
Yeah, don't you love that?
So I went into a couple of different things, a Slipknot tune, a Sabbath tune, whatever, just to get people smiling. And so then before she was leaving, her and her husband, and I was like, I said, what do you think about the Pantera thing? She's like, I hate Zach Wilde. This is sacrilege. I'm like, Some people would like to go see Phil
Whatever.
sing those songs.
Can Phil
I think it's a
sing
great.
anymore?
Who
He blew
knows?
his
Well,
voice
you know,
out.
how you can
Probably
find
close
out. You
enough.
can go to the show. I mean, if you're a Pantera fan, this is something that would excite people.
Right.
I have no problem with it. If you have a problem with it, it's easy. Don't go. Don't
Yeah.
go. You don't like
I've
it?
got-
Don't go.
I've got zero problem with it.
And then you'll see a
Okay.
bunch of YouTube videos, and you'll be like, "Oh, I should have went to that."
Yeah.
Well, other than Zach Wild, who else would you fill those shoes? Like, I think that's a great,
You know, he's
Sure.
best friends with the guy, so
yeah. And his stature as a guitar player, you need somebody. Either you find some whiz kid out of nowhere.
I like Zach.
That's what
Zach
I'm
will
saying.
be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Nobody's
love Black.
gonna
I think
TikTok
Black
Zach.
Label Society
Can't
is great.
TikTok
It's
Zach.
it's a good combo.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a money grab. It's more labor of love than anything. That's
it is.
Well, everybody wants to play, and especially guys who are in their 50s, close to 60 or whatever it is. If you're still healthy,
You gotta go play.
do a summer tour.
It is. It's Phil and the bass player, and then who's the drummer coming in on this tour?
Jason Bonham.
Hey, it's like, did you make that up? Were you actually
Yeah.
funny?
People always
can
used to
be
say
sometimes.
when Zeppelin broke up and the whole thing went down, Jason Bonham should fill in. Go it, guys. Jason Bonham has a band that does Fool.
Charlie
that does-
Benante.
that does Fool in the Rain. Go listen to him play Fool in the Rain and tell me this guy should be in Zeppelin. Fuck no. He's got no groove whatsoever. I'm sorry, Jason Bonham, if you're watching the show, you're not your dad.
Yeah, so
Um,
it's Charlie Benante from.
Now, who is he from?
Anthrax.
From
Anthrax.
Anthrax. Okay. Nice.
He's a good drummer too.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good unit.
I think the little guy in Slipknot was fantastic. Joey Jordison.
Oh yeah.
He's funny because you see he's a little guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be like 5'3" in heels. He's tiny. But it's funny when he sits behind that kid, he's like, looks like a little kid in makeup. Yeah, well, you don't expect him to be an ass. Like I said, I watched him play Fool in the Rain, and I'm like, this guy cannot swing the Purdy shuffle. If you can't play the Purdy shuffle, to me, you ain't drumming. You might be Philip Drummond.
Yeah.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
What you talking about, Dave?
Exactly.
You got to get a
Now,
clip of that.
now you're on the jokes.
Yeah, get a clip of that shit. What's the Rosanna? Is that the flip of the Purdy
Rosanna's Jeff Porcaro playing the Purdy shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Picaro. Or is he dead?
And then the Steely
He-
Dan song.
Yeah.
First of all,
he
Jeff
died.
Porcaro died in 92 at the age of 35, and he's probably still the most recorded drummer of all time.
Wow.
What was the
Incredible stat.
what was the song that Steely Dan had that had the same shuffle?
Babylon Sisters, which is a
That's
little
right.
bit, not so much, but Home at Last for sure on Asia.
Oh yeah.
Home at Last is that groove right there is the shit.
Oh, it's good.
Oh,
Good one.
I mean, if you guys get I have a friend of mine and he just got a brand new stereo system at his house that he's paid thousands of dollars for. And he goes, dude, what album should I go buy? He's got the turntable. He's got everything. I said, you
What's he
gotta
got, a
go buy
Macintosh?
Steely Dan. You have to go buy Asia by Steely Dan.
absolutely.
Set that sucker on and hopefully your neighbors, he lives in an apartment. Like that's crazy. But I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to listen to Steely Dan Asia for your biggest, best high fidelity.
Oh, yeah. Who wrote that tired sea song? That bright, familiar sun?
You don't hear
I
people say
guess
stereo system that often these days.
No, I know it's a weird
Only a
thing.
few audiophiles are buying.
Yeah, and
Stereo.
the shit's super expensive. You buy like a Macintosh; those things are like 10 grand for the receiver.
Well, he's the kind of guy that comes in here. He has no wife. He's got no kids. He's single. He lives in an apartment, and he's got a great career, right?
Wow.
So he's got money, and he walks around in my guitar shop looking. And he's a lefty, so he's always looking for gadgets, and he hits all the music stores on his day off. He goes and plays golf. Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I know Gad's on a lot of stuff. They say it's either between. I've read that they can't. Jeff Porcaro, Bernard Purdy, Gad's on a lot, but what people don't realize is Jeff was on a ton of 70s pop that he didn't take credit on. In fact, Alan O'Day came into the store one day, and he's like an old guy with a hat. I mean, literally, I would have thought the guy was a character on Columbo. He actually looked more like Vito Scotti than a rock star. And I'm like, Alan O'Day? I'm like, are you Undercover Angel Alan O'Day? He goes, yeah. So we started talking, and he says to me, do you know who played drums on that track? That was Jeff. I was like, are you shitting me? The guy's been on so much shit that you have no idea. People were just hiring him. He was working nonstop from the age of 19. From like when he did Seals and Crofts at 19, Boz Scaggs, and then every other pop song that was on the radio played for Barbara.
I showed you guys this last week.
Yeah, Wang Chung guy. The Wang Chung guy.
Oh, yeah.
Dane Cheech wants to know, how's Neanderthal doing?
Well, he's doing good. He went on that Jay and some of those guys that were doing the Johnny Bean show. They started their own live streaming channel, and it's called Under the Bus. And on Saturday, Neanderthal went on that show, so you guys could look that up. And he's doing really good. And I asked him on Saturday to come down to my shop on Sunday, which was yesterday. I said, hey, man, the Cardinals are playing the Raiders. So I'm a Cardinals fan. He's an Oakland Raiders fan. I said, get down the store, man. Well, I got a big screen in the back room. Let's watch the Raiders Cardinals game. And I think he's got a girlfriend now. So he's been kind of busy, and he doesn't want me to tell anybody he has a girlfriend. But I think he's got a girlfriend.
Hey, Dane, do you smoke cigars at all?
Me? No.
Yeah. Because I think the Fox Cigar Lounge is near you somewhere, isn't it?
There's one. There's a place, cigar box. Yeah, there's a place a mile up the street.
But there's a place called Fox. That's called. Let me look where Fox is. Hold on. Fox.
It would be.
It's in Gilbert.
Oh, yeah. That's
not far.
That's 5 miles up the street.
Yeah, on East Williamsfield Road.
No, I can't do cigars, man. I can't smoke cigarettes. I'm all like lightheaded and right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive when it comes to
nicotine.
Any sort of being
Snowball. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say they say. Who is they? Because I don't know anyone that says that Gaucho's a better recorded album than Asia. Not anybody with any hearing. Gaucho was like a more digitally recorded record.
And I don't think different studio. I think it was a studio in New York compared to.
That is correct, sir. Yes.
Asia was a LA studio, wasn't it?
Yes.
Big difference.
Well, the difference was not all the songs. A Third World Man was actually recorded in LA because Larry Carlton was the guitar player on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Gaucho's a better recorded. I mean, I think Gaucho's a little bit more sterile than Asia. And there are some great sounding songs on it, but there are songs like Time Out of Mind that I think sound like crap. My Rival, I don't care for. I think the recording, like you feel like
so
you're in
experimental back in those days. I mean, in the early Steely Dan days, they had a band, they had the same drummers, Skunk was on guitar. They had the same singer, and they kind of knew what they had. And
all right,
they would always let other people sing. Hey man, I'm going to have you sing this one because it'll just sound better. They always did there. Obviously, there were no big egos involved. Like the lead singer has an ego and won't let anybody else sing a tune. Fagan wasn't even close to doing that. If it made for a better record, he would hire anybody he could. And
Yeah, well, Michael
to do
McDonald they
anything,
used to hire. RL says Asia. He says Asia DL. Yeah, I think Asia's I'll say this. I like the Nightfly better than Gaucho, but maybe Gaucho might be recorded nicer.
When you're talking about high infidelity from the 1970s,
there's something about
you got to think about Pink Floyd. You definitely got to think about Steely Dan. But other than those two, what bands really grab you as being?
Well, what Pink Floyd album would you throw if you were an
production.
audiophile? What Pink Floyd album are you telling people?
Dark Side of the
Dark
Moon.
Side.
Not for me. Not to an audiophile. I think Dogs is a better recording.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dark Side is more groundbreaking for 1973.
Right.
But I think Dogs, it's just this.
Animals.
Animals is just, there's a sound to it.
Yeah, Dane, did you just say high infidelity? When you were
I probably did.
It's an Ario Speedwagon reference.
Yeah, exactly. When he was going down that path, I'm like,
and there's the movie, the John Cusack movie too, on infidelity.
That's high fidelity.
I think Asia Steely Dan guilty as charged. That's hilarious.
What
now,
other
how come you guys can't be as funny as RL? What the hell's wrong with you guys?
What other bands are we missing here? The fidelity from the 1970s. It's just the sound quality.
It's my brother.
Yeah.
Do you know Richard, my brother?
I understand, but that's what I say. That's my retort.
But you know what it is for guilty as that's a quote from Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. We think that's our guilty as charged. RL, I have to tell you this real quickly. Let me just interject this story. I was at Martini's the other night, and I was telling the story of America Online. Well, I was crying. And how we still use that. We still use that bit as an absolute hysterical story from about 20 years ago with me and my brother Richard. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you
doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot to us if we don't know.
No.
Totally out of context.
Where's the
I think I told the story once before, but RL, may I tell the story once again? It's one of my favorites. It's a great story. He didn't mind me telling it before, so I can't imagine he would mind me telling it again, but I will wait for his answer. We are waiting for a response, Richard.
This is the young man who likes to take a walk after dinner.
Yes.
See which way the wind blows.
Yes. Likes to walk off the meal.
Yeah. I get this kid's number.
Yeah. RL likes to walk off the meal.
Yeah. See what's going on.
Anyways.
Yeah.
He's not responding, which I don't know if it's. I'll tell the story. I told it before. I don't think he cares. Years ago, 95, 96, me and RL sharing the apartment. I move. My AOL account is on his account. And you can't, so you have to call customer support to separate the account. So you could have it, so you can make it a separate account, because mine was under his account because we lived in the same house. It wouldn't matter. We couldn't both be on at the same time. It was during dial-up. So I call AOL. He says, maybe I should. So I call customer service and I say to the woman, listen, this is the account. I need to get mine switched off. She goes, that's fine. We just have to talk to your brother because it's his account to authorize taking you off the account. I said, okay. So I three-way call my brother in the phone. RL picks up the phone. I say, Richard, what's up? He says, I'm taking a shit. What do you want? The woman now is giggling slightly. She's like, this is AOL customer support. She's like so nervous. And me and Richard just are fucking crying. We're fucking laughing hysterically. The woman is like so uncomfortable, which made it even funnier.
Sure.
But finally she gets it out and she's like, he says, yeah, that's fine. So then I get rid of her off the phone. Me and him still laugh about it. To this day, when my brother has to go to the bathroom, he'll be like, I'll be right back. I got to go talk to AOL customer support.
Now that's funny.
It is funny. All right, so now back to Dane's thing. Dane, you were saying.
Oh yeah, we got the Alan Parsons project.
Yeah.
Super high production value. That's sort of what I'm talking about. From the
It is.
70s,
Be
70s.
like you.
It is.
What
I just
album
found the
just
music
blew you away
boring.
by how good it sounded as far as production.
Well, I think Mamma Gamma is on Eye in the Sky, and that was probably his better sounding record. I just don't love his stuff.
I like select tunes from him.
Yeah, I just don't love it.
I like Eye in the Sky. Great song.
Yeah, for audio, clearly Steely Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I love the sound of Gino Vanelli's either the Nightwalker album or Brother to Brother. I think those are fantastic sounding records.
Those are Canadian recordings, aren't they?
They are. Well, he's from Canada, but no, he was living in, I think, in LA.
Oh.
He was on A&M. There are some jazz records that I think are that sound beautiful. There's a Bill Evans album called You Must Believe in Spring that I think sounds fantastic, and I love the sound. Rico says Boston's first album or Rush 2112. I don't think Rush 2112 is their best sounding album. Al Jarreau. What's the album with Morning? I think that's a better recorded album. Morning Sister.
Rico, how are you, buddy?
What's the big part of the story I missed? You left a whole bunch out.
No, we talking about the fidelity of the album.
Oh yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire, All in All. Oh yeah, this time is the Al Jarreau album. That's right. All in All by Earth, Wind, and Fire is a great recording. Bad Company. I mean, those are good records. They're not great recordings. I mean, I think Rush's best recording is probably Signals.
That's good. What about
before they got too digital sounding? It was the
Breakfast Pitches.
Breakfast. It's a great sounding record too. But Breakfast in America is a good.
Oh
record.
Yeah, definitely. Some of that.
That's a great.
Even
sounding
in the quietest moments.
That's a great record. Baba G. That's a great record too.
Yeah, that's super high fidelity.
Rico says, "Hey Zim, good to see you."
Hey, buddy.
Dane
Yeah,
said
because
70s.
I never remembered Rush 2112.
You said 70s, Dane? You limited it to the 70s?
I don't know, because of Pink Floyd and Steely Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, the 70s cutoff for me is like 82. No, sound wise, because music made a big shift then. I don't think it made that shift exactly on the cut of the decade.
The problem is it's hard to count as far as a high fidelity album. Anything that has loud, heavy gain guitars, if there's a Marshall in the mix, like the Scorpions or any of that kind of stuff, it's hard to say that's beautiful fidelity album.
No.
Any of the heavy metal stuff, none of it, even Def Leppard, right?
There's an album by David Sanborn and Bob James called Double Vision from 1986 that I think is fantastic. Oddly enough, it's produced by the same guy who produced the Bill Evans album I liked.
So for me to suggest AC/DC Back in Black.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great fidelity album. It's a great record.
Clean recording. Super.
Here comes our album.
Clean. And I know a lot of folks use that as kind of like to set up a sound. They'd use that because it's got such natural sounding rock and roll. But it is what it is. You know, you listen to track after track after track. It's more or less the same after same. It doesn't. All right,
Arel's messaging me to clear the record. What he says is he was not answering his landline phone, so I called him a few times and finally when he got to the phone, to say hello. I say, "Where the hell are you?" He says, "I'm taking a shit." That was the big clarity he wanted him, which I don't think is that doesn't change the story. And a moment, the rest of the Out of the Blue is a great album. I also think Discovery is a great sounding album.
It's hard to count anything that has a loud, distorted guitar in it.
No, but Out of the Blue by ELO is good.
The album, ELO, and even that first Asia album. Now that wasn't heavy metal, but it was a rock album.
Yeah.
What's the best from that era, 70s to 80s, that early 80s? Oh, Double Vision's a great album. What's the best hard rock recorded album?
Yeah.
The one I just mentioned.
You think Back in Black?
Dude, it's rather quintessential.
The album is, but we're talking about the recording, not the quality of the sound. Because I think Billy Squier, Don't Say No is a better sounding album.
Even when you listen to Van Halen's first album and the guitar reverb splashes off onto the right side, to me, that's considered high fidelity right there.
Oh, Dane,
you were talking story with that.
Dane, you were talking about loud guitars with high fidelity. Dave nailed it.
I know.
Don't Say No. It's like that telly sounds so overpowering, but it's clean.
Are you sure it's a Telecaster?
It's a big sound. Yeah, it's a telly through a Marshall.
Because I've seen him playing the Les Paul.
Yeah,
Billy's fucking awesome, man. Billy is Jimmy and fucking Robert Plant combined.
I think that Don't Say No, and the reason why I thought of Don't Say No is because Don't Say No was produced by Reinhold Mack. Reinhold Mack produced The Game from Queen, but he was also the engineer on all the ELO shit. Mm-hmm. And, people give Jeff Lynne all kinds of credits for being a producer. Mm-hmm. But when Reinhold Mack left and he's doing Hold On Tight to Your Dreams, that sounds like shit to me compared to how good fucking Out of the Blue sounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think Reinhold Mack had a lot to do with ELO sound.
Yeah, there's some early ELO stuff that it's vocally, the vocals are kind of hard to listen to. They sound distorted and just not recorded nice.
But Out of the Blue, that's a great record. A New World record that's my favorite album by them, A New World record from 76. Zeppelin 4 is another phenomenally recorded record. I will give Jimmy Page that credit. It's fantastic.
They came up with
but we're talking now. That's about production, and when you talk about high fidelity, there's something about, and we talked about the distorted guitars. That Supertramp album has distorted guitars, but when you hear at the end when it goes, what is that song? Is it not Goodbye Stranger? What song is that?
Yeah, it's Goodbye Stranger.
Oh, it is Goodbye Stranger. That outro is so killer when the guitar comes in.
It is. Mm-hmm. Right. But it's not ripping distortion.
Eddie Kramer loves taking credit for Jimi Hendrix. He was the engineer on it. He loves taking credit for Led Zeppelin. He was the engineer on a few things, not much. Mostly Andy Johns worked with Jimmy. I do not like Eddie Kramer. If you listen to anything the guy does by himself, it's a few Kiss records that sound like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, it's too bad some of those Kiss
He used to do clinics. He used to do clinics at my store. And anytime anyone asked him about Kiss, he wouldn't want to talk about it. But he wanted to talk about Hendrix. He wanted to talk about Led Zeppelin. You show me on the record where it says produced by Eddie Kramer. It's going to say produced by Jimmy Page. Eddie was the guy pushing knobs. But every Zeppelin album has that same feel. You know what I mean? It's Jimmy Page's sound. Except for Into the Outdoor, which, John Paul Jones takes credit for producing.
And that the live Led Zeppelin album was so good. What was the name of that one? The song remains the same.
Yeah.
For being a live
Johnson,
album.
for sure.
Sounded great.
A New World record is probably my favorite ELO album, only because Out of the Blue's a double album, but there's some songs on it I just don't care for.
Right. Too much of it. There's too many songs.
Here's a problem with the album.
Should have been a single
album and a half of great songs. It's just there's a half an album of shit that I just don't like at all. But New World Record, every song on it's fantastic. Really is a great album. If you haven't heard a New World Record by ELO, I recommend Some Good Live, Supertramp 77 and 83. Yeah, Telephone Lines on a New World Record. Yeah.
It took ELO 3 or 4 albums to actually start to sound. There were good songs, Roll Over Beethoven and that Overture thing, and there was good songs. But as far as high fidelity, it wasn't right. It wasn't.
Oh,
there
yeah,
yet.
no. They had the ELO, then they had ELO 2, and then I think there was El Dorado.
Yeah.
And then Face the Music.
Face the Music was awesome, but I think those first 3 albums, I didn't like the drum tones. And
yeah, it's funny because it's still all Bevan. What was the third? What was the big song on El Dorado? Was it Strange Magic?
Can't get you out of my head.
Can't get you out of my head. You're right.
That was okay.
I like that song.
That's
here's an Eddie Kramer story for you. Eddie Kramer gets hired to produce AC/DC on the Highway to Hell album. So he goes down there and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Well, this is how we're writing the songs as they go." He's like, "You can't do that." Like within 2 days, Angus Young's calling up Atlantic Records saying, "If you don't get this guy the hell out of here, he's not making it off this island alive." They were in the Bahamas. And that's how they got Mutt Lange, because Mutt Lange wasn't working. And he was a new producer working with Atlantic. And they were like, "We're going to send this guy Mutt Lange out to you." And they flew him out, and that was it. But they hated Eddie Kramer. And I side with Angus on everything in life. I was kidding.
That's another, nice, clean, well-recorded record, The Highway to Hell. I don't know.
They're both Mutt Lange. Mutt Lange did 3 albums for them. He did that one, Back in Black, and For Those About to Rock. I think the album after For Those About to Rock is better than For Those About to Rock. Flick of the Switch is a fantastic, underrated
That was
record.
produced by AC/DC.
Yeah, they did it themselves. But it's For Those About to Rock's good, but there's some songs on it that I think are like caricatures, almost like if they were making fun of themselves, like COD. COD, Care of the Devil. Night of the Long Knives is not a great song.
You sound like fucking Gonzo.
Spellbound. That's right. Spellbound wasn't a great song. There were some songs on that, but if you listen to Flick of the Switch, which I know, Dane, you haven't listened to recently, but put that on in your store, and you're going to be like, "Why have I been ignoring this album?" From the opening track to the end, you're like, "This is fantastic." It's really a great record.
Mm-hmm.
I might even say I like it better than Highway to Hell, but then I'd be blasphemy. Eric Johnson says Flick of the Switch rocks. Yeah, it's such a good record. It really is.
Midnight Strummer's talking about Foghat.
Everyone loves the hat. People love the hat.
They do.
The hat.
I got to open for those guys 3 years
ago. You did?
It was unbelievable. It was so fun. All the guys on their road crew were just mean and pissed off and just didn't want to be there.
Yeah, here this cheat says if you played that album in your store, you'd sell out of SGs.
Like that.
Yeah, Mutt Lange is definitely responsible for Def Leppard's sound.
That's a question, Squire.
My question is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I love the first album.
To bring in the Rockman for the guitar tones on the Def Leppard stuff. I'm going to say it probably was.
On the Hysteria album. I don't think it's on the. I don't think it's on.
Pyromania.
No, Pyromania is definitely, you can hear that's a. Who did Pat Benatar? Those recordings sounded pretty good.
Well, I know who did the albums, but Neil Giraldo did Pat Benatar.
Yeah, and those weren't Sunset. That was out of Sound City Music over in Van Nuys, wasn't that?
I'm looking it up right now.
Pat Benatar?
Keith Olsen.
Oh yeah, Keith Olsen, who also did Fleetwood Mac's 1975 album, the one before Rumors.
And
right,
he
Dave,
did those Asia albums too, I think.
Yeah, Olsen did a lot. He was great.
Yeah, he was good.
I think he also did Working Class Dog for Rick
Springfield.
Springfield.
Yeah, he worked
Yep.
all that.
Yes, he did.
All right.
All right, Roy Thomas Baker,
RTB.
Yep, he did Queen.
Queen, The Cars.
Yeah, my
Nice
problem
sounding
with
stuff.
RTB was I think he fucked up when he did the album Panorama. I think the album isn't produced as good as it could have been. It sounds a little muddled to me. And
Yeah.
it's my favorite songs by the Cars are on that album.
Yeah,
But I
what's
just think
that?
if you listen to Candio and then listen to Panorama, it's like they should have been reversed. Like the sound quality on Candio was so much nicer. So
That
I don't know what
sounds like the future. When I was a kid, listening
Which
to
one?
Candio,
Oh.
because it's got that. You would probably know the technical, that little fucking half note bit. It stabs at it in the riff.
Oh, it's a flat nine.
Right. Yeah, Olsen did all of the Springfield stuff.
So it has a very particular kind of.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, well, Success
Oh.
Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet, Working Class Dog.
Did he do Tao
Sound City Music.
or Living in Oz?
I'm looking right now. There was another one that he did for him. It is Rock of Life.
Rock of
Same
Life's a
studio that did
fantastic record.
Dio, and even Nirvana went there 10 years later and did that first Nirvana
Rock
album.
of Life, by the way, is
City.
the best. That's the best Rick Springfield album. Rock of Life.
What song's
Bob
on that?
Rock. Bob Rock also did a great job in a band called the Payolas. You've
Yep.
got the eyes of a stranger.
Oh, what movie was that in? That
Valley
was in,
Girl.
Valley Girl, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And the Plimsolls were in
Oh
Valley
yeah,
Girl.
Oh, I love Peter Case.
I love that too.
Josie Cotton.
They're in the bar.
Yeah.
Johnny, are you queer?
Hey Dane, have you
Sparks,
seen?
yeah.
Have you
Well-
seen the thing about Van Halen 1 and that is her name like Kathy D or something like that? She was the producer assistant on it. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
She worked at Sound City, and they were like,
you go.
"We got to mix that record." And Ted,
Right.
whoever, she just said, "Okay, I'll go in the middle of the night." She
Right.
mixed the whole record.
Yeah, well, that was the story with that. Like it was in the can, and then he's like, "Nah, I want to redo it." And then the thing they talked about was that wash of reverb was kind of like, what was the name of the
Yeah.
place? Sound what?
Sunset
Sound
Sound.
City. Oh,
No,
Sunset
they were at
Sound.
Sunset Sound.
Sun City.
Sunset
Sun City. I ain't gonna
Sunset
play
Sound.
Sun City.
They were at Sunset Sound when
That
they
was
did
fascinating. They talked about
And
it for like 2.5 hours. And it was
that. That
just like,
reverb unit wasn't just on the guitar. That reverb unit was over the entire mix,
oh wow.
Yeah.
and they had Eddie's guitar panned, at
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock or whatever side he was on.
Yep.
But
Yep.
they didn't just intentionally use that reverb for the guitar. That was over the whole mix.
Oh.
Right, but didn't they throw the reverb on the other side for the guitar? Like they had the guitar on one side, but the reverb for the guitar on the other.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
but that's how you could hear it. But again,
Right.
the reverb was set up over the whole entire mix. So the drums, the bass, the vocals, always using the same reverb unit, and it splashed everything over on that side.
Oh, right.
Because Eddie's dry signal was way overpanned on either the left or the right, whatever
Right,
side it
the
was.
left, yeah.
Probably the left.
Elroy,
that's what
everything
stood
Terry
out.
Date does is awesome. I love Terry Date. Definitely one of my all-time favorite hard rock producers.
And when they did A Different Kind of Truth album 5 years ago, no, it's been a long time now.
Long
but when
time,
Van
long
Halen
time.
did that
10 years
last
ago.
album, I really wish they would have just gave us a couple of songs that were mixed like that. Eddie, throw your guitar over on one side and put a big reverb on it,
Oh,
and just bring us
yeah.
back,
They
man.
can't go back.
Bring us
40
back
years,
to
man.
what we love.
No. I hear you, man,
What
but
we love. Give us more of it.
no. It's a moment in time, as everything is, That's why we cherish these things, because they're really like, that's it, Never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I can get all the tapes and go remix it myself.
I'll tell you, his kid can play pretty well, but he looks like every other kid at Guitar Center.
Yeah, but the problem with it is like, his dad showed him every one of those solos. He's got the DNA, but it's like, I'm so sick of people playing Van Halen and being like, this guy's nailing Van Halen. Go nail yourself. Go figure something else out. We need new music. I don't need you playing Eruption. I need you fucking playing with yourself to Pornhub. No, but you know what I mean? It's like we don't
end up doing it. He might end up doing it. He's telling everybody, Wolfgang's telling everybody, I will never play Panama. But I went and saw him.
Then I might go see him.
Yeah, I went and saw him a couple of months ago, and he was playing in front of 2,300 people at the Marquee Theater.
Was he playing Panama?
Record won a Grammy, or he got nominated for a Grammy, and he's doing great. And he can go around the world and play to 2,300 people in theaters. But you get a little taste playing with Dave Grohl at this big Taylor Hawkins show when you're in front of 70,000 people. And if you get a taste for that a couple of times, there's another show at the end of this month in LA. If you get a taste of that, you might just say,
Oh yeah, they're like, when is big? What is big?
How can you complain it's not fun to play those songs? If you can play them, you want to play them because that shit is just fun to play.
Yeah, I'm with Eric Johnson,
and he might make a buttload of money. Although everybody says he don't need money, and he doesn't need money. He owns that whole EVH thing.
Yeah, I don't need to see more Van Halen. I need to see less. And I'm not saying it in a mean way. Look, when Eddie died, it's a horrible thing. He had cancer. No one wants to see their heroes die.
Right.
But let's put it like when Krelbar just said, oh, the official Jimi Hendrix. I mean, to me, there's nothing more laughable than these guys going around trying to sing Hendrix and do Hendrix. They're like, to me, it's a novelty act.
It is.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in seeing it. If I want to see a novelty act, I would go watch the Atomic Punks in LA, and they're awesome. It'll bring you right back to the old David Lee Roth.
Look at it like this. How long has Richie Blackmore not been in Deep Purple? And how successful have they been without Richie Blackmore in Deep Purple? For how many years now? 30 years?
Are you saying successful because of the live shows?
Sure.
I mean, I don't think they're selling records.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, they're still touring on Richie Blackmore's music.
Right.
Nobody's going to see them.
Calling them a tribute. Steve Morse was in there for all those years. Nobody's calling them.
You're talking about replacing one singer. The band's the band. You still get the band in there. You're just replacing the guitar player. Now you're going in with Van Halen. What are you're gonna have the original Van Halen?
You're gonna have Alex and Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth. And
let me tell you something. David Lee Roth's vocal career died before Eddie.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, dude. Not a strong vocalist.
They may as well exhume Jonathan Harris and have him front the band.
Oh no, the band.
Silence, you ninny. He looks like fucking Dr. Smith now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a fucking fruit.
It's insane. Look,
it's all the same argument, but it will work, and they will be able to do a summer tour, and they'll be able to
go watch David Lee Roth live recently.
70,000 people to come and see them.
I don't know who's going to go see David Lee Roth sing songs out of time, and I wouldn't go. I mean, people would go. Look, if people are willing to buy it, sell it. I'm with you. I'll be the promoter. But I'm saying I wouldn't. To me, that has no interest to me. You see, where the Pantera thing is like the band's been dead for a while. The Abbott brothers are dead. Somebody wants to revive it and let Phil go out and do the songs and give those songs to another generation that wouldn't have heard this music. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, are they going to do that for a career and for the rest of their, I got you, Jerry, hold on. Are they going to do that for a career and the rest of their lives? I don't think so. I mean, to me, that's an interesting show. So if Van Halen was going to do, hey, it's a one-time thing, And David Lee Roth got in some kind of shape where he could sing songs in tune and in time. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be, then you make the ticket maybe worth it. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many people on YouTube, and I don't want to pinpoint anybody because I like them, but they do a lot of talks, and you know who I'm talking about. They do a lot of talking about Eddie Van Halen. And to me, he's no more important than Billy Gibbons or Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page to me might be the most important. I mean, Eddie was important in that era of 1978 to 1984. After 1984, if the band had stopped and no Sammy Hagar, would anything have mattered? Do you go back and look at his career and say, this was some groundbreaking shit on 5150? That's a pop band. It's just a pop band. And right. Eddie's playing, and everyone loves to hear Eddie do the tap and the thing. But at that point, it was a Vegas act to me. It's a lot of schmaltz.
Yep.
Look at here. That's, to me, that wasn't the attitude of Van Halen. When I wanted to see Van Halen, I want to see, well, we're all fast breakers coming out of the gate, taking chances with a crash. You know what I mean? You want to hear some attitude. They had swagger.
Everybody wants some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Kramer's killing me. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, but honestly, Eddie passed. Okay. Was it sad? Yeah, sure. Would I be upset about it? No. I didn't know him. I didn't know him personally. Was I a huge fan growing up? One of the biggest. He was my hero.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. Very sad. Was it sad when Freddie Mercury passed? Yes, same thing. Very sad.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we move on with our lives. And there are other things going on in music that's important to take a look at. And I think all these people are looking at like Van Halen and talking about, still to this day, here's the secret thing in Eddie Van Halen's sound that you didn't know about it. There's no secret thing. You want Eddie. You want to sound like Eddie. Be Eddie. Otherwise, you could try to decode and decipher anything. You know what I mean? You could drive a car. And what was the guy's name? Bustin' Bricks. What was his name? The guy from the Brickyard. What was his name? Anybody?
Dale
Earnhardt. No matter what, you could get.
I just dropped the name.
You get into a stock car. I don't care. You could have a car 10 times better than the last car he drove. You're not going to break his records. You're not Dale Earnhardt. You want to drive like him? Drive like him. But it doesn't matter what your ride is. You know what I mean? So, all these people talk about Van Halen, and it's good. He was a good player. He was great. Was he as good as Alan Holdsworth? No. Was he as good as? Did he mean much to me as Jimmy Page in my later years? Or like if I was to listen to the radio, and I do listen to the radio a lot, and a song like Take Your Whiskey, Romeo Delight, which is my favorite Van Halen song, comes on the radio. And it's a great song, and it makes me happy. But if I hear 10 Years Gone on the radio, I'm into another state of ecstatic. There's something about hearing, like I said, I just think there's too much hullabaloo about Van Halen and what the legacy is. And it's like, to me, they should have been having these conversations in 1985 when his career died. Thank you.
I thought it was kind of sad when Dusty Hill passed away from ZZ Top. Nobody put some big benefit show on for him. They kept playing. They hired their roadie to do his parts, and it's like they didn't miss a tour.
If it wasn't for Dusty Hill and ZZ Top, there would be no Van Halen because all their songs sound like ZZ Top songs to me.
The shuffles, anyway.
Everything. Fucking Beer Drinkers, Hellraisers, the ballads, everything. I mean, they were such a great band. There's a lot of great music.
Those in their early days. They
did. Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. They did at the Arts Festival.
Wherever they were at, yeah.
Great.
Even Everybody Wants Some. I don't see much of a ZZ Top there.
But I thought it was sad that there wasn't a big tribute to Dusty Hill. Like nobody even mentioned him.
No, but I mean,
who do you think our next guy This is sort of a weird thought, but who's the
Yeah.
next guy that's going to pass away on us? Who's the next big act that is like, oh no, he's almost
Jeez.
gone?
Everyone's still waiting for Keith Richards, but
Yeah,
I
right.
think he's hanging on
Impossible
still.
to
Wait,
predict.
I'm sorry. What was
Yeah,
the question?
we're
I was reading
cold.
Eric Johnson's question. Kayla's were terrible. They don't really sound good when you play it acoustically. That was the problem with the Kaylas, and Floyd's were just a better system. Period. But doesn't mean they don't have their uses. I just think that the Floyd would have been a more successful bar, anyways. And it's really ridiculous to try to
Now,
speculate.
what happens when Keith Richards does actually pass away? Is the world going to come to some sort of a, oh my God, nobody thought it could ever happen? We're going to
Yeah,
see that.
I think he's living to 110.
How old is
No.
he now?
He's
The
got
thing about Keith is I don't think he's that old. I think he just looks old.
Yeah, 78.
Well, he looked old when he was young. Yeah, when he aged really quickly, but I think he's got to be 80 something now.
No, he's not that old. 78, 79.
I'll tell you what, there's
But he
going to be
does.
a
He looks like he's
million.
fucking 90.
Do you guys watch and
78,
see all the
78.
memes that are out on everything? You know, there's going to be a million Keith Richards memes.
Yeah. And what about Keith? Do you think Keith was an important guitar player? I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
I
the
mean,
Stones.
we wouldn't have known anything about, open G tuning, you know,
Sure.
and his
Yeah,
guitar
that's what I
style
was
was
going to
unique.
mention.
Now he did learn that. You were telling us, JJ Cal.
No,
taught him all that
Cooter.
stuff?
Ry Cooter.
Oh no, yeah, Cooter. Ry Cooter taught him all that stuff. But no, he's very unique, and he definitely.
And he also used the E tunings on a lot of songs, Jumping Jack Flash, Street Fighting Man.
Yeah.
And
And that's why nobody could really sound like that when you're playing the stuff in a cover band.
Yeah.
Nobody sounds like the Stones.
I'm just saying there's a lot of music that's being made that people are ignoring. And like I said, starting off the show before you came on, I think Slipknot is a completely underrated band in the scheme of metal. I think that band is the metal band of the 2000s.
I won't argue with that.
I
mean, I don't know enough of them, but it's like,
and then just next level shit. It's like the sound, the whole production, what they do. It's just yeah, I have no idea, Squire. But you know, there's lots of great players and lots of people that influence stuff. I mean, I just get a kick out of it's funny. A lot of the Van Halen guys, including Van Halen himself in the later years, always put way more gain than those original records had. You know what I mean? If you listen to Women and Children First, you can hear that amp is fucking decked. And even when he pulls the volume a little bit, it cleans up a lot, which tells you there's not that much gain on it. You know what I mean? It's like you're hearing the amp.
Nickelback was the metal band of the 2000s.
Awful.
What?
Look at Jerry.
Terrible.
I thoroughly disagree.
I don't think the 2000s sucked.
Oh my God, Jerry.
I don't think the 2000s sucked at all. I think there's a lot of great records. I think the Deftones were really good. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in everything. There's
Every
good
era.
and bad in everyone. We learn to
era.
live. Yeah, I mean, I was watching the other day, came on my YouTube feed, Am I Evil? Live in 79 from Diamond Head.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in somebody's garage listening to that.
Yeah.
And I wanted out. I wanted out of the garage. I'm like, can I get the hell out of this? My mother was a witch. She was burned alive. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Get me the
Soon
fuck
enough.
out of here, will you? Yeah.
You know, what was
Yeah,
tight in '78 was the Cars. I've watched
They were
a number
great.
of their videos.
great.
Yeah, they lack a little personality on stage, but
Great band.
wise, unbelievable.
Great band. Three
That's a good
fantastic
point, Tom.
albums.
That's a good
Three
point.
fantastic
Not all
albums.
personality.
Well, they struggled because Rick Ocasek was taking more of the leads as each album went on. And the real singer of the band and frontman, in my opinion, was Ben
Ben
Orr.
Orr.
Oh yeah, without question.
Yeah,
And so-
friggin' Ocasek was a human skeleton. It's like a friggin' skeleton as your front man.
Yeah, but his voice wasn't that great.
He was a great. Now, did he write all the tunes?
He wrote everything.
He wrote the guitar bits, the vote.
Yeah.
Okay. So, his true genius. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
What
You
year is
guys
this?
want to help me figure out exactly what this guitar is?
Let's see the headstock, please.
Because it's a strange one.
What Fender is this?
Hmm.
Okay. Strat.
Wait.
Interesting, like font. All right.
Yeah,
and,
for
then,
this.
and then Dane, what's the number on the plate? E
That's an
something.
E's. Yeah.
Here's what's
E3.
kind of weird about it.
E4. No.
It looks like a prototype for the metal Strat.
What the hell is that? Fender,
Fender
USA.
What
Okay.
the serial will be on the back of the headstock, won't it?
No, the serial number is right here on the back of the.
Oh, we can't see it. What does it say?
Japan.
It says,
Crafted and
I think it says H039 something.
H.
You know what I think this
zero,
is?
0.
I
What?
think it's a Japanese Strat.
Yeah. Oh, does it have a Floyd?
Yeah, it has a Floyd Rose original.
Real. All right. Okay.
And look at these knobs on there.
Uh,
Those are Japanese, aren't they?
oh, the F knobs. I've seen
Yeah.
those before. Yeah, they have like a contemporary Strat in like 85, 6, 7, somewhere in there. Or something like that.
Well, I've never seen anything American that has a serial number right here.
There's no way that's American.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
this was
crafted in Japan.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But why
Yeah, I'd
does
say
this
it's like a
backplate say Fender USA?
That's not the right plate for that either, because the heel isn't cut and the heel is cut on the plate. That's the wrong plate.
No, it's contour, Dave.
It is?
Yeah.
The heel's cut,
Yeah, it's shaved.
It's
Night. See it?
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
whatever it is. It's 1988 to 89.
What are you asking for that?
It's a customer's restring.
Okay, so to sell it behind the customer's back, how much are you asking?
I don't know what they go for, but I think again, it must be the wrong plate because it says USA, but I've never seen a serial number up here that's a USA serial number.
No, it's not a USA serial number, period.
No, it's not.
So it's Japanese
H
guitar.
plus 6 digits is 88 to 89 Japanese.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, that's Japanese right there.
Yeah, and there were two. The American one would have Strat written just Strat, which was the heavy metal Strat, and then they
Right.
also had one
The
called
Strat.
The Strat. No, then
Yeah.
there was the Strat, which is different.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so you think it's a late 80s Japanese Strat?
Serial number says it is.
Real skinny neck. I love how the neck feels.
Ed Dana says the Japan E series were great.
That would be a little earlier than this.
I don't know. The E series of the American was just 80s, and then whatever the next number was the year. In fact, they did that from the 70s all the way up till now. Ruffalo says they'll give you $450 for it. Just tell the guy you lost it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be great? People come in, they go, "Can you restring it?" Yeah. The second they leave, you're giving it in the back door in an alley to somebody for cash.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be hilarious.
It's like, I'm sorry, I lost your guitar. Here's $100.
That's our policy. They put a big sign in the front.
Yeah.
Any items lost or damaged, we will repay you $100.
Okay.
Can you restring my 1959 Les Paul? Absolutely.
Oh, speaking of which, did you see those
$100.
Dooley's fucking t-shirt? Joe Bonamassa. Wanted. 59 bursts. Dead or alive.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure. What do you think those go for retail? Like
$500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah, that much money now? Yeah.
The problem is do they play better than the brand new 59 custom shops? No.
Unless,
but people have their head up their ass. You know, what's the guy's name that does? It's Glenn. What's his name? He does the studio.
Oh,
Glenn
Fricker.
Fricker.
Yeah.
He did a video the
Spectrum
other day, and it was all about, like, you know, people with their vintage shit. The vintage stuff to me is the dumbest thing going. You know, if you can find an amp like an old 2203 because, you know, they were made well back then, that's one thing. But to sit there and be like, I'm going to buy a 1960 Strat right now, brand new at this price, because that's what I want to play. Not even as a collector, because collecting is a different thing altogether. I'm talking as a player. Because if you're collecting, that's investing. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about as investments, because these right here, like these Marshalls behind me are investments. There's no way in fucking hell I'm playing them. I think I'm taking a 4x12 out to a gig. People have to pay me a lot of money just for me to grab my acoustic out the door. Forget about dragging an amp. But I'm saying, if you're out there gigging and you're like, oh, I need to gig. Oh, I can't do this gig with a regular Strat. I need a 60 Strat. What? Oh, you need to spend $30,000 because that has a special. Give me a break.
Okay,
just fucking play.
I've got an answer for that guitar. What it looks like is that at the very last years of the HM Strat, I mean, now that is a Japanese one. Apparently, they use that font on the last 2 years.
Okay.
For what?
Of the heavy metal Strat. So the heavy metal Strats are out, and so they stopped making them in the U.S. apparently, and they made the last couple of years in Japan. They changed the font.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm here.
Okay. And what year do you think they are then?
88 to 89. That serial number on there is 88 to 89. Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks for repeating everything you just said an hour ago. We
Well,
know
he
those were
asked
88,
me.
89s. We also know they were Strat.
Yeah, no, he just asked me again.
Because I'm doing
So-
a restring YouTube video about it, and now at least I have a
Oh,
little
there you go.
information that I can
Oh, I
share in the
see.
video and not just be like, I don't know what it is.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, Jan's a collector. He just piped in. He's not taking Strats to a gig. These people that go out and they're like, oh, I can only play a 1959 Strat. I don't know, Cheech. You are so concerned with minutia of things. How would I know? I'm not Google. You haven't got a computer.
I don't even think it would be in milligrams. It would probably be less than that.
I know, but people at a computer asking me, I'm like, what am I? Am I smarter than Google?
You're
You guys are at a computer.
Google.
You guys are on your computer masturbating to porn more than anyone I know. No, I'm kidding. And you can't look up Google? Find out for me. Tell me the answer, Cheech. $4,000's what I charge to christen your kid. Or is it $7,000? It's good, fellas.
No, it is milligrams. It's 100 to 200 milligrams. And they say cigarettes average 8 milligrams, but cigars can have up to 100, 200 milligrams. Difference is you don't inhale the cigars.
Right. And you're also not smoking 40 of them in the course of a day.
And this says that means smoking one cigar can have as much nicotine as more than a pack of unfiltered cigarettes. Yeah, but that doesn't say you're not inhaling the cigars.
Right.
My dad used to smoke Camel unfilters. Remember the little
Oh yeah.
shorter
Camels
ones, no filter? You'd set-
And Lucky Strikes.
Yeah.
Unlucky strikes.
And then one day when he was in his late 40s or maybe around 50 years old, he just said, gross, and just stopped, just like that. Gave
Good
it
for
up.
him. Is he still alive?
No, he lived until he was 86, I think.
Good age.
Wow.
That's what my
So he's
dad
been
said.
gone a
Yeah.
couple years now.
And what was the cause of death? Heart failure.
Old age. Old age.
Yeah. That's usually heart failure. Yeah.
Wow.
Just went to bed one morning and woke up dead. Camel's premium Turkish tobacco.
Dane, what's the oldest / coolest guitar to come into your shop?
Oldest that I still
Or
have.
/ coolest? No. To come in.
Here's
like-
the thing with my shop. When something old and cool comes in, there's 3 guys that I can call and they hurry over and grab it.
you
So I
still
don't
take it
hang
in, though.
things on the wall
Yeah, but you still
for
take
kids
it
to
in.
play at the high school. That there's a high school next door. Cool old stuff. I immediately call up again. There's 2 or 3 guys, and one of the guys is Jerry Baker from Orange County Guitars in Orange County. I call Jerry once in a while and say, "Hey, man, I got a 48 Gibson or a 48 Martin or something." He jumps in his truck, drives over from California, picks it up. So yeah, so I got a lot of $500 stuff, a lot of $100 cheap guitars, a couple, half a dozen or so $800 guitars, and maybe $2,000 or $3,000 guitars, and then I pretty much live on selling Mexican Fenders and used, Squires and used, $300, $400, $500 guitars is basically what I sell all the time.
Even though something crazy cool could still walk through the door.
Yeah, I had a Dennis Klein Kramer Beretta from the 80s come in that had the sword on it, the samurai sword. One of those came in and it said Kramer on the case, and I opened up the case and I peeked in there for a second and I said, "Oh shit." And I'm like, "Hey man, you're trying to sell this?" And the guy is like, "Yeah, man, this dude owed me $100 and he gave me this instead. And it's just been under my bed for a couple of years." And I'm like, "Oh, $100? Would you take 100 for it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll take 100 for it." And I said, "Where's my wallet?" Shit, hold on. Let me get my wallet. Shit.
That's
Yeah,
great.
but no, I got a Dennis Klein Kramer for $100 one time. A lot of times I ask people how much they want
Sure.
instead of just automatically going over to Reverb or eBay and looking them up. I'll ask a guy, how much you want?
Of course. What are you thinking?
And if they don't know what they got, then that's on them, I guess, right?
I had a guy call me one time and he goes, "I have an old red guitar and it says Gibson on it." I go, where'd you find it? He goes, "In the basement." And I'm like, "Oh." And I go, "Does it have a case?" He goes, "No." And I go, "Oh." I go, "What do you want for it?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know." I go, "All right, let's meet up." So it turns out it's a 59 355. However, it's been in the basement for 20 some odd years. And it's kind of delaminating and yada, yada, yada. So $150.
That's a relic.
Collector that wants it.
Well, the fucking pickups in it were worth like a fortune.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
it went out the other way a couple of years later.
Cheech, Dane, Dane. Cheech wants to know if you still got the Chet Atkins nylon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do. It's been in its case. I leave it. It's back here sitting behind the counter. And yeah, it's still here.
All right. Johnny Kramer wants to know what are you asking for the EVH guitar?
The EVH guitar. That thing?
Oh, yeah.
He's just
That's
asking,
just
what do
a
you?
parts guitar. That's like a $200 or $150 Squire parts guitar. It's not worth anything. It's part of my little collection.
Well,
'cause
neither
my
was
old
Eddie's.
guitar player.
Eddie's wasn't worth much.
And then
I
Johnny's
do have
also
a
asking, what do you
90
charge
I
for
do
the
have a
Slinkies?
1999 PV Wolfgang that I'm trying to get $1,400 for.
Wow.
If you want a real one.
Cheech wants to know how much for the Chet.
I was thinking they're about 6, but they're less than that. I'm going to say 450.
450.
I probably should look it up. And then if you want me to ship it to you, you got to pay for shipping. But if you call me, I mean, I can take a PayPal payment and ship it to you.
That's cool. No, I just love the gear acquisition stories, especially they don't know what they have or how they got it. Like, somebody owed me money and,
Yeah, I know.
I've heard that one a time or two. And it's just so fucked up how people have no idea what an instrument's really worth. Like, and they have no idea, they have no interest in the thing. They just want to get rid of it. It's just crazy to me. Because again, we cherish these things, and it's like, we just
an instrument's worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
It's just like a classic car.
It's just like all of it. It's like this guy's very interested in it. He's going to give you more than you
Or
would
any kind of car. There's so many of these automotive guys that go around just. I have an 04 Chevy truck, and I have people almost monthly going, "Hey man, you want to sell your truck?" Just random guys walking around.
That acoustic back there, everyone wants to buy. The Alvarez. It's nothing special. It's
but it's
I believe it's China. It's China made.
Oh.
It's not a top line thing, but it plays very nicely. And the electronics in it, they use the same electronics they used in the high end models as well. So, and my brother wants it. My friend Leo wants it. And a couple of other people play it. They want it. So
I like that open headstock acoustic that Dave plays.
The Takamine.
That thing is cool.
Oh,
yeah, it's a nice one. Big
got
fat
Takamine.
I got a Takamine, a 12-string.
Takamine.
What do you say? I just got back from the on the Fay. The Fay, what's the Fay? It's what you ought not to do, but you do anyway.
Eric Johnson, just go to Guitar Center and ask them for a shipping box. They'll be like, we just opened a few and go to the dumpster. That's where they're always at. Jerry Speed for Hire says he's got an 84 Ibanez DT 350 Star Destroyer that he bought in France. Priceless.
Okay.
It comes from France.
Oh wow, we're running late. Long show,
It's
folks.
10:30. Holy
Talking
crap.
shop about guitars. Could go on all night.
It's really hot.
So is that
I'm
the
going to
Paul
kick out in the
Stanley?
next 10 minutes.
Dave, is that
What?
the Paul Stanley?
No.
What's
No,
a
the
destroyer?
Paul Stanley was the
Iceman?
Iceman.
Okay, what's a destroyer then?
Destroyer's like
That's
an Explorer.
Phil Collin.
Okay.
Phil Collin
Oh yeah,
plays
yeah.
that.
12-string Ibanez.
Pyromania years.
No, Takamine.
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 Yeah.
Take a mind. That sounds big.
Well, it's a 12-string.
Oh, okay.
It got traded in this way. I have not tried to tune it. It got traded in perfect tuning. Takamine G series, whatever that
Korea.
means.
Made in Korea.
Yep.
Yeah, the G series are Korean models.
There it is.
And is there electronics in there? It looks like it was taken
Yeah.
out. What is that?
Yeah, it does. It has electronics.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a hole there for a minute. I was like, what am I looking at?
It's a control panel. Oh, built-in tuner. Fucking genius.
Every time you play those first three chords, I think you're playing the Peter Frampton tune.
I know
Yeah,
I'm
same,
playing
yeah.
this
Yeah,
boy.
I was thinking the same thing, Dave.
Good for you.
Oh, yeah, because I thought you were playing. Hold on.
Okay.
I think you were playing. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. There's what is the next part? Let's see if I remember that part. Great stuff.
I love that Frampton album. Comes alive.
I don't think so. I don't think he's underrated.
You think Frampton is revered appropriately?
I do. I think he was good, but
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah,
other
some
big one
guys
he
hit it
had?
right. You know. A lot of folks.
Cascade things also.
D.
Right. I can't remember any of it.
Give us a little of the zebra tune. Who's behind the door?
That's an open G. I'm not retuning the guitar. Not for open G. I do it, but I taught it on my channel. It's on my channel as a lesson. What song did I have to play the other day? Oh, you know what we played was that was Dancing Queen we did. You can dance, you can dance, in the time of your life. See that girl, let's see. Friday night and the lights are low. This boy, that was the same key, right? This boy.
I never knew they said you can dance, you can jive. I always said you can dance, you can die, having the time of your life.
Yeah.
It was say, what the fuck? Well, my cat just made an appearance. I think I'm gonna have to kick out. Yeah, someone needs to eat.
Me too. I gotta go home
All
and
right.
have dinner.
Yeah, we all gotta go. We're gonna call it right now, guys.
My cat called
Folks,
it.
thanks everyone for hanging out with us tonight. We want to appreciate and thank you all. Hit the like button on your way out. Don't let the screen door hit you on your way out. Don't you know when your dreamboat is there? You guys know the tune?
Yeah, smoke from a distant fire.
There you go. Will your eyes had a mist of a smoke? Oh, it's fantastic.
Another great
All right,
drum beat.
everybody. We want to thank Jerry for being here. We want to thank Dane for being here. We'd like to thank Krelbar for being here. We'd like to thank Gene Wilder for being here. Gene, thanks for being here.
I said good day.
You get
All right.
nothing.
All right.
Jeez.
He said good day, everybody. All right. Let's see. Where the hell's the ending for this show? Main show, outro. All right. Guys,
Ted.
have a great one. Until next week. Very good.
Okay, goodbye, Ted.
Goodbye.